The Truth 2.0. Just want to jump on here. We had such an exciting day yesterday. It was just so made for TV, that joint session of Congress. I was so excited. I knew it was going to be fiery. If you guys didn't check out my video, please go back to the playlist and you'll see the video from yesterday. But it was worth watching, and we truly did enjoy it. But the aftermath, it's amazing that you would think that people would see the light, but they still don't see the light. So we're going to dive in, and I just want to say thanks for joining us. Just remember, we can agree to disagree. We welcome everyone's opinion, because this is not just about what we are saying. We want your feedback, and it's okay to have that conversation. I think that's what we're missing. But I felt a little type of way about what happened when Trump was doing his joint session of Congress, because even though the Democrats that were in the chambers, they're elected to represent a body of people, but they're supposed to still be for all Americans. And you have independents, you have Republicans. We need to hear what the president has to say. Let him speak. And then you could critique or whatever, but just to try to shout them down, shout them out, and you're not listening, I mean, it was a disservice to the American people. So we're going to dive into right now on Stephen A., what he had to say, and then we're going to follow up, with the reactions. And, even with Al Green, even today, now they're doing kumbaya, like we have overcome, but you guys are not fighting the good fight, not for the American people. You're fighting the good fight for everyone else except for the American people. So anyway, we're going to go right to Stephen A. and Bear, Joy Bear.
And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the Electoral College vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans had won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. Yeah. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won a popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the Electoral College vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate.
There is.
Well, it's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad. We should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
But do you think those groups, the black voters, the Latino voters, and the others that you mentioned, are they going to regret it soon?
Possibly. I think so. I don't like what I'm seeing from Trump. I didn't like what I saw with Zelensky. I didn't like what I saw with a few things. But in the end, I don't like it. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. The American people, in their eyes, it wasn't about him. They were voting against what the Democrats were throwing in their direction. I not only talked to Cuomo, I did interview Eric Adams. I did interview Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I interviewed these people. I've talked to them, and I'm going to talk to some more of them too. And I'm going to say the same message. What are you doing to win? I love Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland. I love John Kirk of Pennsylvania, okay? I just interviewed Cuomo. I like him a lot. I want somebody to step up and recognize that man in the Oval Office, whether you like it or not, is potent. He's coming and he wins. You got to find a way to beat him. This way is not the way that the Democrats are doing it.
Let's talk about how people are feeling about his performance, because a CNN poll this week found that 52% of people disapprove of Trump's performance in office so far. So even though he may have won the general election by less than 50%, 52% disapprove of what he's doing.
Okay.
We're also seeing Republican voters at town halls opposing his executive overreach, giving Elon Musk the shadow presidency. Yet you said, quote, Trump is closer to normal than what we're seeing on the left.
Yeah, I was talking about why he won the
How
election.
so?
When I made that statement, I was talking about that was before the election.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
So when during the election, I said in the immediate aftermath of the election, I pointed out he was voted for because they considered him closer to normal than what the Democrats were spewing. That was what I said at that particular moment in time. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is an entirely different matter altogether.
Right.
This man is not an elected official. He hasn't been defined by the Senate or anything, but he's got an inordinate amount of power.
Give it to him by Trump.
I can understand how that can scare the living daylights out of folks and the approval ratings. Obviously, we pay attention to that. But here's the bigger question. Who on the Democratic side are the American people pointing to and saying that's the person?
Well,
They don't have anybody yet.
Well, we're
plenty.
6 weeks in with you know.
National voice.
Right, we're 6 weeks in with you know. who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on. So, and now people are saying, well, what are you going to do as a Democrat? Well, wait a minute now. Y'all didn't want to hear what we had to say as Democrats because that wasn't what people voted for.
true.
So now we have a clear definition. And the American people will decide how they like what he's doing because now it's affecting in a way that people were not anticipating. People who didn't think they would be affected, like the folks who work in the federal government, they never saw this coming.
And
They
people can't
never
make
saw this
omelets
coming. Sorry
anymore.
about that. People can make omelets. Everybody doesn't eat eggs. Not a fan, but I like chickens. But I'm not a fan of eggs for the mouth. Anyway, our thanks to Stephen A. Smith.
You know what?
Be sure to check.
I think that the View just has a certain mandate. It doesn't matter what's going on. But Stephen A. Smith he shot him down because they were saying that there is no mandate. What are you talking about? But they did not expect him to, I guess, be in a disagreement with them at a certain point. But if you're a great journalist and if you have a program, you have to look at some of the stuff that they're saying that's coming from the right. You have to address it, that it's not all bad. And you have to give, Trump has only been in office for today is the 45th day. You got to give him a chance. And when he is done, what I can see more than anyone has done in 40 days in all the last maybe 4 presidents. I have never seen anything like this. I don't know if you guys have, and I'm not saying we're in agreement with everything, but this is Stephen A. now, and after yesterday, I guess what set it off was with Al Green and just the behavior of the representatives. They're not representing the American people. The party, the Democratic Party, and you can look at my other video. I think I did it 2 videos ago when I said this is not the same Democratic Party of yesteryear. This is not the Democratic Party. It's supposed to be about the people. It's supposed to be the people's party. They're supposed to be looking out for the working class, the middle class, and for our rights and everything. They became the party of me, and forget about the people that have actually voted them into office. Because they didn't hear us. They care more about foreigners. If you're a foreigner, you made out with this past administration. You made out. If you had a war, you made out. If Gaza, Ukraine, 14 million, 20 million, who knows how many illegal immigrants that have fallen on the backs of the American people. Not only did we send $350 billion of taxpayers' money to Ukraine, but we also are taking care of 240,000 of them here in the United States. And they're on our Social Security. They're on SNAP. They're receiving our benefits. So we're the ATM of America. We're Bank of America, but at this point it's closed. And right now we have a president he's bringing money to America. He's saying this has been unfair. We're doing all the giving till we're $34 trillion in debt. That's like $108,000 per person. Kids haven't even been born. We're in so much debt that we're falling apart at the seams, but we don't even realize it. So somebody has to tackle it, and it's a hard thing to do. No, I don't like some of the stuff that's going on, but I'd rather have someone that's in charge that at least knows what they're doing, that they know business, because the truth hurts and it can be painful, but we have to give each president, just like we gave Biden an opportunity, we have to give Trump the same opportunity before we prove them wrong. You have to do it. But today, what I think at the joint session of Congress, he already said that 50, what was it, $50 billion from Apple. What was it? How many millions? 7 billion, I think, from Waze, from they're giving to the United States. They're finding trillions of dollars worth of wasteful spending. So it's a lot that's going on. He's just getting started. We have to get rid of the waste. Some of the stuff, when they run it off, if you guys didn't see the joint session of Congress, everyone needs to watch it and hear from the president. Everybody needs, no matter what, if you're an American citizen, we have one president, whether we like him or not. I didn't like the last one that I voted for. But you got to accept who's in office. And as an adult, first of all, our help coming from God anyway. We're not the Democrat Party, the Republican Party. We with God's party. We with the Lord. So we're good over here. But, we're just like making a point that somehow the Democratic Party has lost its way. This is not the Civil Rights Movement Party. Obama came in office, black people said, oh, we finally got a black president. Oh, wow, it's going to be our turn. We're finally going to be heard. We're finally going to have justice. All these things we expected from him, but he didn't look out for black people. He looked out, he was the father of same-sex marriages, LGBTQ and company. He was the president of that. That was his movement. That was his legacy. Then Biden come along, his legacy are the transgenders.
Someone's saying it's not that much money because it was 65 billion, not trillion.
Of what?
And that's 0.9% of government budget, I guess, given to the illegal immigrants.
However much we gave to the illegal immigrants, if it was $1, it was too much. Let's go there. We put a burden on American citizens. We got 3 million children that are going hungry right now. Hey, how you like that? Our vets are sleeping outside. They're for this country. How you like our homeless Americans are living in tents and are dying on the street? So until you take care of this house, then you don't need to be taking care of everybody else until you take care of our unfortunate, our poor, our vets. And that's what all countries do. Other countries, they're not going to take care of American citizens before they take care, like China's not going to take care of American citizens before the Chinese. Russia's not going to take care of the Americans before the Russians. Ukrainians are not going to take care of Americans before the Ukrainian. No country is going to do that. But this is Stephen A., and this is his take.
I want to mention that President Donald Trump will deliver an address tonight in prime time to the House and Senate lawmakers on Capitol Hill. The speech will resemble something like a State of the Union address. Meanwhile, Democrats today have gone out of their way to post messages on social media
and this is
about
how
the current Trump administration.
This is what they do
to American lives. The problem is they're all literally saying the same damn thing.
This is crazy.
Don't believe me? Check it out.
Crazy.
If I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down. They're up. Inflation is getting worse. Not better. The prices of gross gas.
Same speech. Same speech.
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as
Crazy.
presidential candidate?
They think we dumb.
See what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people? All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons? Seriously, you don't get it?
No, they don't.
Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer,
All of them. Nobody.
Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power. You wonder why Trump is in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why a vice president like J.D. Vance has the authority to spew in the direction of the president of another nation. Don't you get what I've been telling you? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put it right. Follow me, the camera. Follow me. Let me give it to you. I'm going to use the saying from my old buddy, God rest his soul, Joe Madison, the Black Eagle. I'm going to put it where the goats can get it. Please forgive me because I'm going to cuss here, only for the purposes of accentuating a point about Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer and the typical politicians, oh, inflation is high. Oh, look at them pointing the fingers at the migrants. Oh, look at them blaming immigration. They don't care about you. Oh, by the way, look, they don't care about this. Well, why
Yeah,
would you
guys,
bother people
thumbs
in the
up.
LGBTQ community? Why would you
And
bother
subscribe.
folks with transgender and all this? Why would you do that? That is what the Democrats say. That's what most politicians would say. Here's Trump. They're pieces of shit. They don't give a shit about you. It's rigged. They've hoodwinked you all the time. They think you're a freaking joke. They give you the middle finger anytime they want to. Here's Trump. Fuck them. They ain't worth shit.
Wow, he cursed.
And do you know what his followers say? Yeah, that's how we want you talking to those politicians who've been stealing our money all of these years.
Correct, Fruit Dragon.
It's not what he says. It's how he says it. He does it with vitriol and venom to show a disrespect to politicians who the public have no respect for because they feel they've been hoodwinked by those same politicians. He's using it to separate himself from the cesspool that is Capitol Hill. And how does Capitol Hill respond? By showing them they're still Capitol Hill. Did you see me on The View Tuesday afternoon? Did you see when they said, we don't believe there's a Trump mandate? I said, oh, really? Did you see the former press secretary for the White House come on? I think Stephen A. is wrong. I don't believe what he said is correct. Donald Trump has the lowest approval rating in the first month or so, or 2 months of a presidency in American history. Oh, really? But didn't he win all the swing states? Didn't his popularity elevate within 89% of the counties in the United States of America? Didn't his popularity elevate within the Black community, the Hispanic community, and the young voters? Didn't he win the popular vote for the first time in 20 years as a Republican nominee? Did he also win the Electoral College vote? Isn't he in control of the White House?
Yes, he is.
Don't the Republicans have the House and the Senate?
Yes, they do.
All of that happened, but there's no Trump mandate.
There's a Trump mandate.
You see the bullshit? Is it? Is it just that the Democrats are so damn...
It's funny that Stephen A. Smith is actually leading in the polls over Kamala Harris for the Democratic nominee for president for 2028. That man right there is actually, as far as I guess some Democrats are concerned, that he's making more sense than the party because he's actually keeping it real. Now, he says he's not a Republican. He's an independent. But but people, the way that he speaks, he does sound like he's leaning more Republican, but he's speaking truth, and the truth hurts. People don't want to hear it. But he's not a Republican, and it's amazing that he's leading the candidates, the candidates for 2028, Stephen A. Smith. So he's speaking some facts to people. Somebody's listening.
The popular vote for the first time in 20 years as a Republican nominee? Did he also win the Electoral College vote?
Yes, he did.
Isn't he in control of the White House? Don't the Republicans have the House and the Senate? All of that happened, but there's no Trump mandate. You see the bullshit?
Give me some money.
Is it bullshit? Or is it just that the Democrats are so damn lost that they're actually going to convince themselves they can do the same old and still regain power?
Yes.
Both in the midterms and in the 2028 election. I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen because Trump has the power now. And he's manipulating the proceedings.
Yes, he is.
And in case you didn't notice, one of his top boys, Elon Musk, Doge, owns X. Who else was at the inauguration? Jeff Bezos.
Hear that?
The man running TikTok. And Lord knows who else. And then you got folks like Candace Owens, who's a Trump supporter, along with various others with their microphones, their cameras, and their audience. If you think
Joe
the liberals
Rogan.
are overcoming that, you go ahead and watch
Aiden.
Schumer and those 21 other senators talk their drivel. J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or somebody will be the next president in 2028. You'll have nobody but yourselves to blame. As if it is edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show.
See, people don't want to hear that, and that's coming from a Democrat, but people have closed ears. I think it was shameful, and I think, like, I was excited about Trump actually speaking to the people because you wanted to hear what was going on. But for the Democrats to get up there and have these little signs like they're at an auction, they're holding up the signs and they're trying to be disruptive. But the world was tuning in, and the world wants to know what's on the president of the United States' mind because we're the strongest nation in the world. So people want to hear what he has to say.
Blessings to your family as well.
So
Blessings.
thank you. So when you have people that ignorant that will stand up and try to kill the messenger, the sound, so we couldn't hear. That was a disservice to all of us because we wanted to hear from him. It wasn't just about what the Democrats didn't want to hear. That wasn't the time. The time was to listen, and then they have their rebuttal after the interview.
Adam said you two are beautiful souls.
Thank you.
You are as well, man.
Yeah, and that, there is a rebuttal, but to get up there and to act the way that they did and throwing their arms up, but what the worst part about it was that they wouldn't clap for that little 13-year-old little boy, DJ. I think that's his name. I have to look it up. Yeah, they wouldn't even clap for him. He suffered from brain cancer. They gave him 5 weeks to live.
Blessings to you as
6
well.
years later, he's still here because the grace of God. That's all God. And his father is so devoted to him that he's taking him all around the country, the police station, because his goal, he wants to be a police officer. So they're making him honorary police officer, and he wants 900 police stations to make him official policeman, and that's what they've been doing. But when Trump told him that he's gonna make him an honorary member of the CIA, the little boy he was shocked, and then he grabbed the CIA director and he hugged him. They wouldn't clap for anything. They didn't clap for Lincoln Riley's family. They didn't clap for the young man that's going to, what's it called? I don't know, it was Notre Dame or somewhere that West Point, or somewhere that he was going to. They wouldn't clap for Jocelyn, mother, what they were, the laws and different things that they were passing. They wouldn't stand for anything, and Trump was right no matter what he would say.
Christopher, explain yourself.
They would not clap for anything. It's one thing to be about issues. It's another thing to be human. You got to show the human side because you're supposed to be representing the people of the United States of America, not just the Democrats, represent the Democrats, because you have Republicans and Democrats live in the same community. It's not a community that the Democrats have a community, Republicans have a community, and independents have a community. We're all intertwined. And right now, I could have a Republican congressman, but I could be a Democrat. But he's still representing me.
Wow.
Huh?
Jesus said, "Truth spoken."
Yeah, but he's still representing me. So when they stand up there, they have to understand. They think they're speaking for the Democratic Party, but you're not. You're not. Your communities consist of all of us blended together.
That's right, Randy.
We're blended together. We're one nation under God. And even in the Senate hall, they have at the top, "In God we trust." That's written. We'll live it. In God we trust. As that meeting was going on, I looked up. I'm like, wow, right there in the Senate hall, it says, "In God we trust." So they need to understand, when they're acting up, they think they're doing it for their constituents, but you're not, because we're all blended.
Cold dog, where's your proof to that?
We're all blended in the communities. So they're doing a real disservice. This president has done more, and he did bring back respect to this country.
No problem, Stephen.
Because we were looking real weak, because look at these people. We have weak leadership. And I've been voting for a Democratic Party for the last few elections. I've been voting.
Okay, why?
Until now.
Why said
What?
how much are y'all being paid to shill like this? Is it for likes and algorithm? It's sad.
You know what? What I do, I don't do unto man, I do unto God. This is not for likes. This is not for getting paid. This is for, because you have to have content that people are not being one-sided and they're telling you the truth. There was a disservice even during all last year during the election that the mainstream media was completely one-sided, but the rest of us saw through it. What?
What someone said? They said every time I come across whatever this embarrassing mother-daughter mistake this is, it's so cringe. So I'm trying to make yourself famous. It's not gonna happen. Call me the daughter.
Well, you know what? God is good and God is in control. And see, you're thinking about on a limited mindset. God could give us a million subscribers today if he wanted to. He can blow us up anytime. It's all up to God. It's not up to man. But guess what? We only been on here for a short span of time. And like in a few months, we got over 15,000 subscribers. And we don't have all this sophisticated equipment. We don't have what are the screens called? We don't have the screens.
Oh,
Thank you.
Talking about StreamYard?
Well, anyway, we don't have the backgrounds and everything.
Yeah, StreamYard.
No, I'm not talking about StreamYard. I'm not
green
talking
screen?
the green stream. So we don't have. You don't see us with the mics. So, but people like
Love you too.
people like when people are authentic and we're real. And this is our opinion. Okay, it's our opinion, and we welcome your opinion. But sometimes you have children in the room, and they rather say. They don't even say anything. They just like to do insults or, or they get mad. But just say your point. You can believe what you believe in.
Yeah.
That's your right as an American citizen. You can vote for who you want to vote for.
Now they said, two
What?
things. Someone said I look like I blow kisses to myself in the mirror. And someone said I could also, this is the girl who said that I'm your daughter. It said I could also stop your God. Tell your mom to go to bed, bro.
But see, that's so weak. I mean, how weak are you? First of all, you're just trying to be insulting because he's a guy, got a beard, mustache, and all that. So
Thank you, Stephen.
But you can't stand 10 toes down and be on here if you're sensitive. But see, I'm perfectly and wonderfully made. We know who we are in Christ. I love who I am. I know I am beautiful. I know I'm perfectly wonderfully made. I love my skin color. I adore being black. I wouldn't want to be anything else. So I'm good over here. My confidence is through the roof. You can't. And then let's just say the director. I deal in politics. I know how people are. or whatever. But when people can't bring anything to the table, this is what they do.
Yeah.
You know, and it shows. It just shows it how weak a person is.
Linda said you're a beautiful lady and brilliant mom. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Much love to you.
And someone said, I hope y'all wake up, but you seem like decent folks.
Yeah, well, thank you. I hope that you wake up as well, because, you know, I'm glad that you're tuning in, because we can enlighten each other. And that's something that people don't do. And like what I was saying, that nobody, like these politicians, you're not the politician of one party, because your communities are blended with Democrats, with Republicans, with independents. So you have to speak to all the people, all the people. And when this man stood up in Congress, which was like an embarrassment, when he stood up, he wasn't standing up for the people. He was standing up for himself. He wanted to make the news, I guess.
Joe said, talk about ending DEI.
Okay, do you want to take this one, or yeah, I love talking about DEI. It's like one of my favorite topics. I'm trying to find Al Green. This is one of my favorite topics. First of all, diversity, equity, and inclusion did not benefit Black people. I know maybe that's what we're the face of it, and that's what they want to say, but Black people did not benefit from DEI. The number one ethnic group that benefited from DEI were, drum roll, white women. They were the DEI hires. White women. Not Black people, but we're the first to march. Don't worry. If there's an issue, Black people get out there and we'll sing like it's affecting us. Thank you. But he said, God bless you. God bless America. That's right. God bless you and God bless America as well. But, you know, we're the first ones that get out there and we fight for civil rights and all these causes. But it was white women. You know, and that's a disservice to Black people, that they show like Black people. First of all, Black people are not back in the 1800s, 1960 or whatever. We're educated, we're articulate, we got double degrees, master degrees, we're scientists, doctors, lawyers, we're multi-millionaires. There's so many of us that are multi-millionaires and billionaires, business owners. So it's not the same. The DEI benefited white women, followed by, drum roll, Latinos and Hispanics, then Asians, then what was it? LGBTQ, indigenous, Indians, veterans, disabled, seniors, and last but not least, I know number 9 were Black people. So it didn't move the needle for us, because it was supposed to be us, but it didn't benefit us. So when people say that, like, they look at Black people, oh, you're not going to have DEI. Look, we have to be the top of our game, to the best of the best. When you see us in executive position, we are the best of the best, because we got to fight harder to prove ourselves.
Toby, you can just look it up.
Yeah, you can look up DEI and see, and look up, and they have it listed. This is knowledge. This is not hidden knowledge. You can look it up and it'll show you who benefited from DEI, and it was not Black people. It wasn't us. It was white women.
Miss Morningstar.
But we're boycotting though.
Miss Morningstar said a great point. She said, Miss Morningstar said a great point. She said, we are of 2 categories. Either you're a child of God or a child of Satan.
Yeah. That's right. And like the stuff that went on, like the other day, that show that the Democrats made, they didn't make that for us. That was all about them. Let's see if I'm trying to find it.
Admonish Congressman Green, and that hasn't happened yet. And what Democrats are doing right now is they're disrupting the chamber floor, and they're singing and they're surrounding him in the well, which they're not supposed to do. So I believe Speaker Johnson is trying to get a hold of this. Let's listen in now, because I think this is happening now where he's admonishing him. No, it looks like the House is in recess now. So we're going to try to figure out what just happened there, if they can, if they're going to come back and try to do this. But the censure resolution did pass.
The thing about it is that this man got up and he heckled and he did his thing. And, you know, their whole thing was to disturb Trump. He was not supposed to speak. He was not supposed to speak. They didn't want him to be heard. by the people.
Toby, what news source do you watch? Something I'm gonna need people to do is to explain the comments instead of just
let him go ahead
calling.
and just explain it.
Yeah.
So what did he say?
Well, Toby said that we watch just Fox News. David.
Oh, this isn't Fox that we were watching.
Yeah.
No, we watch Forbes. We watch all. You know what? I used to only watch MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. I never watched Fox News or any content. That was my news source. But I had no idea that they were biased and one-sided. And even in election time, you saw that they did a disservice to the people, but not even questioning the vice president of the United States of America running for the highest office. So, yeah, that's all I used to listen to. But now I listen to everyone. I give everyone a chance.
Grant said Toby watches CNBC and CNN.
Yeah, those are the go-to, and those
NBC.
I don't know why I can't find it. Those are the talking points that they do, and that's what they listen to. Those people, and it is just outrageous.
They watch Roland Martin.
Yeah, Roland Martin. Don't forget to watch Roland Martin. He's the go-to. You know, they just are so despicable, like their behavior. I don't know what happened to. I would have to go to our own freaking thing. But it just doesn't make any sense. Like the behavior that they displayed was not what people voted for. I'm quite sure people didn't vote for that type of behavior. Nobody signed up for them to act like fools. They didn't. That wasn't representing people behaving like that.
So Shannon said, "How do you like the economy?"
How did you like the economy for the last 4 years? It didn't just get like this. It's like everybody act like once Trump became president, he's been president for like 5 weeks. Poof. The economy just got like poof. The inflation just came poof. Interest rate was like this. Yeah, all this stuff. Oh, poof, 2 wars. Yeah. No, how have you liked it? Read it. Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to like it first. They said, "My best wishes, intelligent, compassionate, and family-oriented people like you are what makes America great. I will never understand how those evil people didn't stand up for that wonderful child." Yeah.
Yeah. How don't you do that? What's the justification for that? What is the possible justification for their behavior? There is none. I mean, there is none. I mean, he's a child of God. The little boy, the young boy is suffering from cancer. You couldn't put away your hate for Trump to show that young boy some love. Do you know that he saw that? And he saw how people were behaving? And sometimes kids don't know any better. They take it personally. Like they don't like me. That's how children take things in this day and time. It's hurtful to them. And a lot of them can't handle it. But that's what we do, you know? And it doesn't make any sense. They couldn't take a moment to put away their plan. They had a plan. Their plan was to be disruptive and shout out just like he did. And, you know, that's what they wanted to happen. What is this? Read the comments if I find this.
Someone said a stronger economy comes from investing in education.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do now because we're failing in the education department.
Stephanie, I actually was the Trump supporter first, you know. My mom threw away my Trump hat, you know, actually.
You gotta tell everybody that, huh?
Yeah, they said that you're making me worse.
Yeah, like you don't have your own mind, right?
Yeah.
Nobody, you know what? The worst thing is that 93% of black people still vote the same way. They don't make any promise. They to the point that they don't have to promise the black community anything because that vote is guaranteed. So that's why they could throw out Megan Thee Stallion and they can throw out their Beyonce for 10 million and they can throw out Oprah for 2.5 million. They could throw out Al Sharpton for $500,000 and Roland Martin for 350,000. It goes on, the list goes on and on, but with no promises. Nothing for the community.
That's right, Gina.
Nothing for the black community. And then the Republicans say, well, why? We don't have to do anything because they don't vote for us anyway. But not this time. Not this time. We came together as Americans. Blacks, whites, Asians, Hispanics, Indian, Indigenous, Italian, Jew. We all stood together. We all stood together.
Rick said Trump isn't doing anything for black people.
Tell me what Biden did for black people. I bless us so we can hear that. What did Biden do for black people? What did he say? What did they do? Did he answer? What?
No, they go quiet once you ask.
Yeah, what did Biden? Like, I can answer what Trump did. Tell me, what did Biden do for black people?
Well, the Making Change podcast, I would look into Trump doing the First Step Act, Trump giving to HBCUs, which are predominantly black colleges. I would look into what Trump has done for the black community and black people. Before I'll say no president has done anything for black people. Trump has been like the
No,
only
tell
president.
us what Biden. I can tell you what Biden did for us. You know what good old Biden did for us? Good old Biden, the author of the 1994 crime bill that caused mass incarceration of black people. Kudos. You ain't black unless you vote for him, for the Democrats. You know, that's the saying. That's what he did. He locked up all the husbands, the fathers, the sons, the cousins, the uncles, the nephews. That's what he did for black people. And guess what? He said that they're super predators. Told the judges, don't even try to rehabilitate them because they are beyond rehabilitation. That's what Biden did to our community. And when you take the head out of the household, that's why God made man the head. You take the head out, that's why you had the young black kids running around because they had no one to follow, no leader. They had no father in the household. So then they hit the streets because mom is trying to take care. She's at work because now she's the man of the house and she got to hold it down while the kids are running around and the streets are picking them up and telling them you can make money if you could sell some marijuana, and you guess what? Marijuana during that 1994 crime bill got you life sentences.
And I forgot what Rick just mentioned. He said that Joe Biden bought a family fried chicken as a PR stunt.
Yeah, he bought the chicken with the black father. The black father. He was surprised that the kids like education. He was surprised that the kids were active in sports. He gonna bring fried chicken, and he had a hamburger. Oh yeah, they want fried chicken. Yes, I like filet mignon. I like lobster. I like all kinds of things, and I do like chicken. Who doesn't like chicken?
It's like you're not black if you don't vote for me.
I like roasted chicken, baked chicken. I like all kinds of chicken. But it was a point, the symbolism of it, that he felt like to take some chicken to this black single father. There was no mother there. It was a black single father. That's what Biden did. He promised the George Floyd Act and that he was going to pass that. That's why I supported Canvas, Phone Bank, had rallies, supported him. I did the whole 9 yards because of the promises that was made by this candidate that was running for president at the time.
That is exactly it, Art Grape.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So that's that's what
Thanks,
Biden did for the black community. And then he was supposed to do the John Lewis bill. You know who got the anti-hate crime bill? It was the agents who did nothing for him. We still don't have a bill. protecting black people from hate crimes. And that's been going on since, I guess, black Americans has been in the United States. So there's still hasn't done nothing. And then Kamala, his running mate, to add more salt to the wound, she locked up thousands of black men for marijuana, then imprisoned them longer than their sentence so that they could put out fires in California.
Yes, we voted for Trump.
And guess what else she did? She wanted to get a notch on her belt. She wanted an innocent black man to die and refused to give him a DNA test. And it was Governor Gavin Newsom that allowed the testing to find that the man was innocent. And she came to court. She was waiting for that notch. And another young black man, she tried to give a double life sentence to. And this happens all the time to black men, especially if they're young. They look at them and say, I could get 40 years of free labor.
God bless you too.
So that's what Biden did. Nothing for our community. We should have never voted for that man.
That's why we voted for Trump.
Never. But Trump did the First Step Act, something that Obama couldn't get passed. Biden never tried to get passed. And that allowed black people that were sentenced this way to get out of jail. And guess what he had at the White House? He had Black history at the White House. And he brought in all different walks of life black people to celebrate that. They said Trump was a racist. Celebrate Black History Month. He brought them in there, honored Tiger Woods, and now he's going to have a part that celebrates black accomplishments with statues, art, all kinds of things, from Harriet Tubman to Muhammad Ali to Dr. Martin Luther King to Kobe Bryant. I haven't seen all the presidents do that.
See, John, we're not going to do that. They're trying
What?
to say Kamala's DEI. We're
No.
not going to do that.
No. But it's okay. We're not, she's not black, she's Indian, but we want to give people respect. But that DEI,
Attach that to black people.
yeah, well, that's the news. Like when they show DEI, they always try to, like it's a black person, and it didn't get to. I wish we did represent DEI. I wish we did get hired, but that didn't happen. So the truth always manifests, and you can fact check that. Fact check who got hired. It wasn't black women. But we want to get to this. This is
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction
Listen to 'em.
than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, Repair and Super.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
He had just gotten started. This is the first few minutes.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Listen to this.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of
Yes,
decorum,
it did.
and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Wow. I like us. There you go. Speaker of the House, Sergeant at Arms. This is not a representation. The world was watching this mess.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
Yes.
Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Wow.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
I want him to get to the part that you can say there's nothing you can do.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that?
We have the unity
I don't know
forming
about
now.
that list,
The Dems
but
want
we'll
to
take
keep the separating
Within
of the
hours
power.
of taking the oath of
Let's
office,
come
I
together.
declared a
God
national
bless all.
emergency
God
on our
bless
southern
all.
border.
Thank you, God.
And I deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to
Thank
repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done.
Go
As a
Trump.
result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Did you hear that?
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month. And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress.
Democrats.
And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy, or to make them stand, or smile, or applaud. Nothing I can do.
That's right.
I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad.
It
and
is.
It just shouldn't be this way.
He's the president. It's sad. We clap for Biden, clap for Obama, clap for Bush, clap for Clinton. That's right.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Trump, is he a boss? But it was true. I think that was like one of the most profound statements that he made all night, because no matter what was going on, people could not put away their differences and just recognize, some of the things that he has done for America in a short span of time. You got to give it to him, the good and the bad. You got to give it to him, because we can go on and on things that we don't like, but when somebody does something that's worthy, you want to give them the recognition. And I didn't see much that was coming from the other end at all. Not at all. Like he talked about people like Jocelyn that was murdered. Her mother's there. They wouldn't even stand for anything that he was doing in memory of the 12-year-old. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? You have so many people full of so much hate, and they hate people for no reason. And what they do, they attack people. They try to insult people, but then they hide behind, just like the media. They hide behind. They don't show their pictures. They don't show who they are. They hide behind the screens. They won't approach their bosses, their co-workers, their neighbors, even some family members. The only thing that emboldens them is like when they're online. That emboldens them. And that's when they show off and they say foul things. They say things that, but they have no comeback. My thing is that we all have a voice. We all can, have an opinion about things. And it doesn't hurt to show, some respect when respect is due. Like I didn't like Trump last election because I was listening to media so much. I thought he was like the worst thing ever that could happen to this country. But this man actually went through a lot to try to help. He got to fight us to help us. That's when I knew that it was something different about him. He's doing all this to help us. He went through impeachments. He went through being locked up. Went through them trumping up charges, past a limitation. They don't even know what the 34 counts of felon was. But once they found out that people was given to them even more, because they said we recognized injustice, and people saw through what was actually going on, and people didn't like it. People didn't like it. So I'm trying to find with the young man. People didn't like it, and people showed it by the way we voted. And the Democrats still haven't gotten the memo. They still trying to act up. These people are going to school for years. We expect them to be professional. We expect them to be able to represent us. We expect them to be above the norm. I expect them to be able to have a dictionary they can articulate without cursing and cussing and not able to speak in a clear, concise manner. It's unnecessary. We're not electing them to act ratchet and act like they're from the streets and just have low-minded. Like we didn't vote for them. We expect more from leadership. And what they displayed was not the type of leadership that I expected from them. And matter of fact, I've been shocked. I didn't know they curse like they do, especially on camera now. They're so emboldened now that they're cursing on camera like they can't even express themselves. Like, what happened to the English language? You're going to school for years and you can't even articulate a thought. It doesn't make any sense. So we have a lot, it's a lot that we need to do. It's a lot that we need to grow, and accomplish. But one of the things is, like, when that little boy got up there, Elijah, can you do this? When he got up there, I really want to find it and say something. When he got up there, that was a time to at least show, anytime you survive and you're a child, you survive cancer, and people can't put away their differences. There's something wrong with that.
Okay, I would. Robin said,
2-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley.
you want to show this?
The best in her class, admired by
can.
everybody.
Yeah.
Went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage, illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing
He's
across
the wicked one.
Biden's
What are the freaking
open
Democrats?
southern border,
Unbelievable.
and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
They didn't even clap for her. They wouldn't clap for her, for no one. And she's innocent.
Last year, I told Lakin's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
Yeah.
It's called the Lakin-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never ever forget our beautiful
Good.
Lakin Hope Riley.
I mean, come on now. Yeah, it was an all-time low for Dems.
Thank you very much.
See,
Since taking off,
it doesn't make any sense that you can't even acknowledge someone like that. It doesn't make any sense. But when they got to the little boy, you know, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? It doesn't make any sense.
refuge, in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
And 12 years old. 12 years old. I didn't know Democrats was like this, and I was one of them. I had no idea that it was like this. I thought that was the good side.
Thank you very much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as they are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz.
It's amazing how much that he's doing, and just honoring some Americans. It's just inconceivable that people would, just be so hateful with something like this. And like 44 days.
Of killer, he was killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
They couldn't clap for him. Ridiculous. This got everyone.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
So it's amazing that I found this. They didn't even show the young boy on here. That's how biased this newscast is. They didn't even show him.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer. Actually, a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
You know what? I'm looking at this, and yeah, these people did an injustice. This newscast to show Donald Trump's speech and not to show the young man. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy that they didn't even show the people that suffered through illegal immigration, lives that were lost, but they had the audacity. I didn't know that any channel did that, because the one that we were tuning into, they showed all of the victims. They showed the victims, and I can't believe that they did not show it. They did not show any of the people and what they went through. It's so amazing that they decide. Yeah, I want to find it because he's worth watching, for people to see his reaction. Yeah, he's worth watching. I found it on here. Yeah, he's worth watching. I was surprised. I didn't know that a television station did not show the victims and the people who Trump was speaking to.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed
God
of
bless
becoming
you.
a
God
police
is with
officer.
you. God loves you. God loves you. Gave him 5 weeks to live. Been here 6 years. Daddy loves you. They sat. They would not clap for that child. None of the people.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
God is good. And they sat, would not stand up.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer.
Their behavior was inexcusable.
The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
They shocked him. Congratulations, young man. Congratulations. All God. That's God that saved him. God. Thank you, Jesus. Beautiful. DJ. He asked him what was his duties, his official duties.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
All right. Save the children. That's just an example. Like, I wanted to show that because, you know, it makes no sense. Like, whatever the adults have or whatever our problems are, you know, you got to teach the children the way that they should conduct themselves. And that was inexcusable, that behavior. I mean, they gained nothing by behaving like that. It was a discredit to the office that they're holding, you know. It wasn't what I believe that their constituents had voted for. There's no way that their behaviors made them any bigger. It didn't highlight the Democratic Party. It really showed the state that the party is in. It is not the same party. It used to be the People's Party. It used to be supposed to be for the people, better wages, for the unions, for, you know, just equal rights. It's not about any of that now. It's all personal. It's about what they're about. This is the new Democratic Party. It's the party of they curse. They can't even take interviews without being disrespectful now. I don't know what has happened. Love, you're here. Thank you so much. There's a lot to keep up with. But it's terrible. Like, I just want to, like the party has changed so much that it doesn't make any sense. This is like, who's this, Jasmine? She is like, it has changed so much, the party, and like what's going on, like the language that's spewing out of their mouths is unbelievable.
Jasmine Crockett chose to vote against the Lake and Raleigh Act.
Until we get what we deserve, because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done.
The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild. But they are really the ones.
But not rooting for America.
Crockett makes around
Not-
$174,000
Tell
per
them.
year. She's estimated to be worth around $9
How?
million.
How or
Yet
how?
she acts like an immature girl on her way to the club on the wrong side of town. Please make sure that you guys are subscribed so you can see more videos.
It doesn't, like,
Jasmine-
just looking at something like that, the behavior and the language is like so out of order. It just doesn't make any sense. It's embarrassing that these people, then you got Al Green, they all coming around interrupting. Now, he's supposed to receive his punishment. And this guy, they drowned him out. Makes no sense.
And one counties in our country, 2,700 to 525.
Be a professional.
But
How about
America
that?
reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise,
It's amazing, like what's going on. And these people acted up. They acted terrible. They wound up putting him out, Al Green, and then when they were supposed to pass, I mean, he was supposed to be censored, I guess, today, and they was disrupted once again.
Ayes are 224. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Thank you, Stephen.
The House will come to order. The House will come to order.
Still the same issue.
Will Representative Green present himself to the well? By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House will come to order. The House will come to order.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe.
The House to come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
They didn't even allow him to continue. You know, they didn't allow him to continue. They wouldn't come to order, even during the meeting. I guess they call themselves standing in unity, but in unity not for the American people. I don't know who in the world that they think that they are representing, but they're not representing all of us. These are elected officials that are supposed to represent all of us. And I think this is a poor showing.
Be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
They broke out in song. Maybe it's time to come up with that post-mortem about the election rather than singing. But time will tell if they choose to do so. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany. Here's my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Molly Line, Fox News correspondent. For the very first time on the couch, we are so excited to have her. She's a fighter. She's a warrior for women. Riley Gaines, Outkick contributor and host of Games for Girls on Outkick. Welcome, Riley. And Brian Kilmeade, Fox and Friends co-host and host of The Brian Kilmeade Show on Fox News Radio and One Nation with Brian Kilmeade, now airing Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Riley, we all saw you sitting there in the gallery. You were there as Al Green went totally nuts, and I'm just curious what you saw.
Well, first, let me just say I am so excited to be on the couch with you guys. As you mentioned, I was there. I got to witness the theatrical performance in person. Immediately, my first response is, how embarrassing. Embarrassing not just for Democrats, but I felt secondhand embarrassment. Being in that room, I know other countries that they're watching this. Constituents, civilians across America, they're watching this, and it's embarrassing. Whether it's Al Green, whether it's the pink costumes, of course, their shirts, the storming out, then going on X and publicly announcing that they left, which, newsflash, if you have to publicly announce you left a room, chances are no one cares you were in the room in the first place. Entirely theatrical. I just want to know who is advising the DNC, the Democratic Party, because I believe they need to lose their job.
Yeah, they appear leaderless and rudderless, and even some Democrats would agree with you, Riley. So check this out. Axios had these quotes. Some of them were on background, meaning they didn't attach their name. Other Democrats attached their name. Here they are, centrist Democrat. What Green did was inappropriate. He became the story, not the price of eggs. Bingo. George Latimer, he's a moderate Democrat in New York. When a president, my president, your president is speaking, we do not interrupt. We don't pull those stunts. Jared Golden, another centrist. My take is that the average American thought the optics were pretty bad. Another Democrat, people could have just sat on their hands, but we ended up looking like infants when Trump is actually the toddler, he said. Well, there is one person who sits on the panel of The View who thinks more Democrats should have looked like infants. Let's watch her.
While I didn't watch it, I was looking for signs of an opposition party, which is what the Democratic Party must be at this point, not a resistance, because resistance is passive. When Representative Al Green stood up and said, you don't have a mandate to take away Medicaid, and he was tossed out, I expected the rest of his Democratic caucus, his rest of his colleagues to walk out with him.
Jesus would never be a Democrat.
Another reason not to watch The View. That's the reason every day you just roll a clip like that. I was actually over the Senate camera in the gallery too. I had a chance to see some of the antics, and he was the one who started impeachment 8 years ago, right? Before we even knew what he was talking about, and then he starts saying some nonsense about Medicaid. It's not grounded in any reality. And he stood up, and I'm just wondering why the sergeant at arms who was ever doing security. Before they went to Al Green, did you know she went to Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, I did.
So I'm thinking to myself, why go to Nancy Pelosi? She's not even speaker. So does she know about it? And then he goes and talks, and then he goes back to Nancy Pelosi again. And then Al Green, finally, another sergeant arm, then he gavels down. Another security person walks up who doesn't look like a security person, and they just basically tell him, you got to go. And he leaves, and he's giving interviews after. He has no regrets. Just such an embarrassment. And I don't think that the Democrats are really scrambling right now because, like you said, every president's got weaknesses. And maybe they want to use the eggs. Maybe they want to say inflation's not down enough. We didn't even get to that because all we're talking about is them not standing for the return of Mark Fogel, a student getting accepted to West Point, taking down illegal revenge porn. Are they for revenge porn? I'm not surprised. They didn't seem to be different. What about the capturing of an ISIS agent that had the explosion at Abbey Gate, the mastermind of it? You can't cheer for that?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
All the people
House Speaker
dying
Mike
back
Johnson knows that
Afghanistan.
Al Green was the first congressman to ever have to be removed from a presidential address. he joins this stellar group of individuals who have just been censored in recent years. We'll pull up their faces. Jamal Bowman, he was censured for pulling that fire alarm. Rashida Tlaib, for her remarks, many characterized as anti-Semitic. Adam Schiff, who led Russia collusion, and Al Green, you're exactly right, led the impeachment hoax, the first one just a few months into the Trump presidency. You know, Emily, Brian made a key point. The message about the cost of eggs got lost, and Democrats put out this video where they were all saying the same message. It was Liz Warren, Chuck Schumer. It was the first time you'd really seen them singing from the same song sheet, but that got totally overshadowed by these crazy protests.
Of course, and look, to hammer out your point about crazy, I thought Brett McClintock had the best quote where he said, you know, in this lack of decorum, this crazy outburst wasn't perpetuated by some lunatic in buffalo horns. He said that was an elected representative of the United States Congress. And when you put it like that, and when you contrast his behavior with his lack of support for a constituent of his, Sweet DJ Daniels, who his father says lived there, that is preposterous. That is apparently paid to represent half of the United States, but they're doing anything but. And I also want to point out those 10 Democrats, including Case, including Houlihan, and more. So they voted to censure their own member of the party for that deplorable behavior. But where were they, however, on voting for biological men in sports? Where were they during the entire thing when there were so many reasons for them to at least clap and show support for the things that unite us all instead of simply dividing it further by sitting there sullen? So to me, showing somehow a modicum of support against for accountability against that behavior, I wish they'd gone a step further and shown us that they were Americans before they were children of their party.
Yeah, in my initial look at the list of 10 who voted, I do not believe any of them were one of the two who voted to keep biological men out of women's sports, making your exact point. Molly, you know, DJ Daniel, which Emily brought up, the 13-year-old, that amazing little boy who had 13 brain surgeries, America just fell in love with. He captured our hearts. There was one Democrat who said this on Background to Axios about that. Not standing for Trump would have been a fine strategy, but you need to separate him from the kid with cancer.
That's my whole point.
Well, and that exactly, the not standing for DJ may have been worse than the being pulled out after shaking and screaming with your cane. And I think it's worth noting that DJ was not the only child that had a presence there in that room that had survived brain cancer. There was a woman from Massachusetts, a mother that went there with the Democratic rep from from Massachusetts, talking about her son Declan, who's 4 years old, who has been battling brain cancer as well, and the need for NIH funding, and the need for investment in childhood cancer, which is a nonpartisan issue that everyone can get behind. And raising that was part of what President Trump tried to do last night, too, saying reversing this trend when it comes to childhood cancer, one of the top priorities. So there's common ground to be found, and standing might have brought some of that common ground to the forefront. But I think what Democrats want to do is fight for those things, for NIH funding. They want attention on that and not on the shaking of a cane, the not standing for DJ. They want to fight for those types of things. Hakeem Jeffries tried to shift the dialogue towards criticizing the Republicans on the economy when he was asked about green. So that's going to be a challenge for the Democrats to find a way to talk about the things that they want to talk about instead of being pulled into these types of discussions.
Yep, and when Biden mentioned the March on Selma, Mike Johnson stood. When Biden mentioned Hamas and the individuals who were captured by Hamas, Mike Johnson and Republicans stood, but Democrats couldn't get their butts out of the seats to stand for a kid with cancer and Laken Riley's mom. What a shame. House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke about the censure of Congressman Green earlier this morning on America's Newsroom.
Party is in disarray. You see that. They don't have an identified leader. They don't have a vision. They don't have a platform they can run on. And so the only word I can describe it as is they're flailing right now. So that's why they resort to these antics. They want to fight Trump. They want to fight the America First agenda. They want to fight all of us. And so they debase themselves by showing up on the House floor and acting like children.
We have a special announcement. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, go ahead.
Do they think that this is going to work? They're keep doing the same thing over and over again. Do they expect to have a different outcome next time the election? Because it's going to be another election. Do they believe that what they're doing is going to cause them to win? When people didn't vote for what they're doing?
They're not reading the room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called that they're not reading the room. America was, citizens were complaining about the inflation, about the economy, about high price of eggs, about food costs, about energy costs, about the two wars, about all the illegal immigrants, about the weight and the burden that it was putting on the American taxpayer, funding all of these different programs. But then when American citizens faced different disastrous situations, then FEMA wasn't there. There was no money in FEMA because it was given to the immigrants. There was no help for the people who suffered through Hurricane Helene and Milton. You know, you had people in North Carolina until Trump got in office that were still sleeping in tents while we were housing thousands of people in luxury apartments in New York. You know, they're being fed. They've been given $3,000 of my EBT cards, laptops, phones, education, Medicare. They've been putting on our Social Security. We gave $350,000 to Ukraine, but you got 240,000 of their citizens that fled here, and they were put on, many of them on our Social Security and a SNAP and on Medicaid. So we have all of this. So if they really look at the cost, it's more than $350 billion that we're supplying to Ukraine. So, but this is on the backs of the American citizens, but they didn't hear us.
You can't forget about us giving to the Taliban.
Yeah, and the Taliban, as we speak, until Congress passed it, that Biden set up in 2021 to give the Taliban $40 million cash payment per week that we're giving to the Taliban. Can you put your, can you really, comprehend that? We're giving money to them, cash payment. That's untraceable. Why are we paying? And we left $7 billion worth of our military equipment in Afghanistan, and we're paying them. We've given them like $6.3 billion in the last few years, and we're still giving them money while American citizens are saying we need help. We want the economy fixed. We want inflation to come down, and these are the things that they caused. They didn't do anything for American people but burden us. That's what all they did was burden us. And then Trump come in there, like Trump actually was in office the last 4 years, because they act like that since he got sworn in on January the 20th, that all of a sudden he's supposed to change the world, but the man is moving faster than lightning.
Isn't Stephen A. Smith one of the top nominees?
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is one of the top nominees for president. Stephen A. Smith.
Why that is because out of all the Democrats, he's the only realistic one.
He's the only realistic one, and telling them if you want to win, but they're not doing that. You saw what they did. They felt like, who are you fighting for when he stood up? He's not fighting for anyone. That was just a show, a facade, because they want to keep that mentality moving on, that hate. The goal is to hate Trump. They want that gravy train to keep rolling. Lord, keep the focus on hating Trump for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. He's right. It doesn't matter what he does. No matter what good he does, the goal is to hate Trump. All the news programs is no support of the President of the United States from this party. And that's crazy.
Yeah, and I loved what Trump said to the kids.
Go ahead.
He was like, to all the people trying to change their gender, that's impossible. They're saying they're doing that. He's saying God made you perfect the way you are.
Yeah, he said God made, because you got all these trans.
Yeah.
And instead of getting the children mental health that they need, look, God is the only creator, period. God is the only creator. There's only two genders. When you're born from your mother, not a trans, or your father, when you're born and given birth, it's from your mom. That doctor either going to say it's a boy or a girl. There is no baby born on this earth that's going to say, excuse me, doctor, but I'm trans, or I'm bi, or I'm this. You're a boy and girl, but society grabs a hold of them when they get a little older. They can't even talk or speak or comprehend anything clearly until at least they're a few years old. And sexuality is far from a child's mind. They want toys and candy and things like that. But this sexuality is thrust on them through books now, through teachers, through school, through education, through television, through theater. And you got some batty parents that want their kids to be gay. if you can believe it or not. But a lot of times they go through trauma at an early age, being raped or molested or whatever the case may be. We can statistically document that.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel that shows that, and they talk
Go
about
ahead,
they talk about the trauma and everything that's happened to them. That when they turned out like this, what did they go through to become like
that? Because you see all these 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'3", all these men, you're like, how are they walking around with a handbag? Because the trauma happened when they was a child. It happened when they were children. And then they grow up, okay, they're gay, but now they took another level. It wasn't good enough just to be gay. Because you could choose to be whatever you want to be. God doesn't, he said, look, he gives us our own free will to make decisions. But God said every mouth shall confess and every knee shall bow. And we're going to declare that Christ is king, all of us. And we're going to give account to every word spoken, everything we've done while we were here. And you can't do it while you're gone. You have to give your life to Christ while you're here. You can't say, oh Lord, now I believe. It's not going to work. But just to lie to people and don't tell people, and every Democrat that's in the House voted, what was it, Title 9 or Title 7, I forget the title, but they voted to keep men out of women's sports. It didn't pass because all the Democrats voted against it. One of the young ladies that was there, she suffered traumatic brain injury, paralyzed on the side of her head. She's going to suffer for the rest of her life because she was hit so hard by one of those dudes, by one of those men playing in her sport that it was like she got hit by a car. Okay, these are the things that are happening. They have taken over 900 medals from deserving women. They're out cycling women by 5 hours. 5 hours is the lady behind that man that's acting like he's a woman. 5 hour distance between the time documented. Because they're going up against men, these women. And they talking about they want women rights. Women have a right to keep men out of women's sports, locker rooms, and anything space that women occupy. They're men. They know there's not a doctor on earth that can make a man a woman and a woman a man. They are not God. They are not a creator. They can mutilate you all day long. They can take away your parts and say, okay, you're a woman now. No woman that can't reproduce, or you can't have any pleasure, no sex, no nothing. And you walking around more depressed and more suicidal than ever. And this instead of getting them the mental help that they need, but it's money in it. So instead of praying for people and telling people the truth, people was going along with all this crazy. But now common sense is back. The Bible is back. God is being glorified like he should be. There's only one creator, and that's God. That's God. So all that stuff that people want you to believe, and then I had to look at myself. God is not in the Democratic Party. Like someone said, he's not there because they're far removed from biblical beliefs and scripture. They're far removed from scripture. God is not in abortion. Let's be clear. It's a terrible thing to have abortion. And a lot of times we don't look at it that we're actually eliminating a human being. It's wrong. God is not in same-sex marriages. God is not in men and women sports. God is not into men and women locker rooms. God is not in the majority of the things that party represents. Transgender. God is not in there, in that. He made man and woman. So we got to be...
thank you.
Thank you.
JJ, he said, what's good, y'all? Save the babies.
Save the babies. Save the babies. We want to kill ours at the DNC. They had nothing to run on. They're going to have a freaking Planned Parenthood there giving abortions at the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah, I eat paper. You're going to go right to hell saying that. You're blocked, dude.
You got to pray for those because they know not what they say. You have to pray for people. And that's the whole point. Like, I'm about, because, you got to pray for people. God said that fret not because of evildoers, they will soon wither away. And he said, no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up in judgment thou shalt condemn. That's our heritage as children of the Lord, and our righteousness is in him, say the Lord of hosts. So we're covered by the blood of Jesus. So it doesn't matter, but you have to pray for those that persecute you, to say false things about you. You know, when you know who you are in Christ, you're perfectly and wonderfully made. And that should be spoken over your children, your family. You know, you speak that over your friends, and you pray for those that are in leadership. If you don't like what's going on in this country, then you pray for your president. You pray for your elected officials. Because prayer does change things. Instead of complaining, you pray. You pray. It works. You pray. Trump talked more about God and talked more about the Bible and getting back to biblical principles more than I've seen the Democrats. They're running on homosexuality.
Like how he said he's trying to bring God back to schools.
Yeah. We need a biblical foundation. They said this country was founded on biblical principles, and we need to act like it and put God where he belongs. God is first before any party. An election is over. There's no more red and blue. They have to represent all of us, all the elected parties. Like I said earlier, there's not a neighborhood that this the Democrat neighborhood, this the Republican, this the independent. We're all blended in. So those same representatives they have to represent all of us, all of us. My representative is Democrat, and I voted Republican, but he's still my representative.
Someone said, is Jesus God, or did Jesus pray to God?
Jesus is the Son of God. He's the Lord of Lords, the Kings of Kings. He's God in the flesh. Mm-hmm. That's who he is. We pray to Jesus, and we thank Jesus because of the blood, because we're fallible. You know, we're so sinful that God can't just look at us without that blood covering us. That's why you got to repent and ask God for forgiveness. It's the blood of Jesus, and our righteousness is in him. We're filthy rags. This is all of us are born in sin. Well, that's why we give thanks and we thank the Lord. And God said he loved you so much that he said that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever shall believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That's word. And that's for us. That's for all of us. You know, so when I look at the parties, I don't take it personally, because my help don't coming from man. My help coming from the Lord. God is my provider. No matter what goes on, God is going to provide for me and mine, because we look to God for our help. He's Jehovah Jireh, our Lord, our provider, and Lord, our protector. He said, he who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of Almighty. Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you. You know, God is wonderful, and I can't make it, and neither can you without him. I don't know what it would feel like not having God, because life is hard. You know, life happens to all of us. None of us are exempt from experiencing life. You know, and you're going to call on God. You're going to need more than yourself one day if you don't believe. You become a believer. You know, some jobs, you got supervisors and you got bosses that you need God, or you need God to go in there every day. Because you got some people that just want to harass you just for showing up to go to work. You know, so it's so funny. So you could be on the road trying to say, go to the market, and somebody got road rage. They want to run you off the road just for you being on the road. So people are, you know, going through. You know, you got to just pray for people. But you got to remember that it's not men. That's why I say you got to pray for Trump. Instead of them going there fighting them, I believe they're on the wrong side. I used to be on that side. They are now. I'm like, I can see them now. They have lost their way. They are not the same party as years ago. This party has changed. It's like the Republican Party is more like what the Democratic used to be or supposed to be. This Democratic Party are not looking at, is nothing about that they're doing that they're looking out for the American people. All they do is holler and scream about Medicare, Medicaid. Trump keeps saying he's not even touching, he's not doing anything, but I'm fighting for it. And I'm like, they want to do this fear mongering And they wonder like he's a big bad wolf when guess what God talks about? The wolves in sheep clothing are them. I was like, wow, they the wolves. What?
Now Al Green said that he's absolutely going to file articles of impeachment against Trump.
For what?
He said after being removed from
Trump didn't remove him. The Speaker of the House, who has the full authority, Mike Johnson, removed him. He had the Sergeant of Arms. See, I know that's all union stuff. That's the Sergeant of Arms came in, and his job is to remove the disruption, and that's what happened. That was protocol. They know the rules.
You mad?
You know, but they was trying to stop people from hearing. Thank you so much. Jesus was a comment. See Act 432. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, what was it? Acts 4:22. But Jesus, he came and he died and he set an example for us how to live by. When you open up your Bible, the word is a living word. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. So you can't debate the word of God because there's power in the word of God. What are you saying? Hello.
No, Jesus did not pray to Allah and told his followers to pray to Allah. I don't know what Bible you're reading. Oh, he's probably reading the Quran.
Yeah, but the word is the word. We're not going to twist the word. You know, the Bible clearly states what it states. And I know people have different beliefs, and that's your right to believe in what you want to believe in. But we're Christians, and we believe in Jesus. Jesus is Lord, and Christ is King. We believe in the holy word. We believe that God is holy. He's holy. There's no sin in God. So God's not going to tolerate sin. You know, he's not going to say, oh, it's okay to commit adultery. Oh, it's okay to have same-sex marriage. It's okay, you know, to do all. It's not okay. It's not okay. That's why we have the 10 Commandments. It's in Congress. It's in many of our buildings. You know, our buildings have the 10 Commandments, our government buildings and stuff. There's laws that we are governed to live by as, you know, as humans, you know, but we have a responsibility, and the way that they're acting, you know, they almost sound treasonous. That the way that they talk about the president, like even Jasmine said, I support Mexico, and you know, I don't support Mexico. I don't support Mexico like that. I'm not talking about the Mexico people. I'm talking about, they said that how many we have more deaths from fentanyl that's coming in from Mexico than any other death in the United States. It's killing our people, like 350,000. I forget how many they said are dying per year off of fentanyl. A Border Patrol guy just took some and he just overdosed. It kills people like that. It's deadly. And then they're allowing the cartel to come in. Or they're trafficking children and women into our country, and it's all kinds of stuff that they need to control. So it's a lot going on, and we just want it to stop. That's all. We want to stop the flood of drugs coming into the United States, and that's the same thing as Canada. We want them to stop, you know, all the invasion of our country from coming in. Okay, y'all got to have more control over the borders because we're overflowing now.
That's right, Draco.
We're overflowing, and no other country would allow it. No other country can sustain it, and neither can we, especially the debt that we have. We just can't afford it.
I'm gonna say what Liz said. Liz said, and we're okay with Trump not being perfect and breaking all the 10 Commandments, right? As long as there are people we like.
You know what? That mindset doesn't even sound right. Nobody's going to justify anyone actions, and anyone is held more under the gun. There's no one more than Trump. Let's be clear on that. Trump is 24/7. People holding his feet to the fire. So we're not going to say that. But I think that he's behaving a lot better. He's behaving more Christian than these Democrats. He's not into same-sex marriages. He's not into abortion. He's stopping. He's not into men and women's sports. All these things that God is against, he seemingly is against as well. But the Democrats are for it. So who's following the word of God here? Who's following the word of God? But no one is perfect, and we're not following anyone 100%. Like he does stuff, I don't like, I speak about it. But I'm not going to neglect like the mainstream media. They neglect to talk about the freaking other side, the liberals.
Liz, you're not getting to. My mom always held Trump accountable because she was a Democrat. She hasn't always been a Republican.
I was like you guys. But I think I probably did more than y'all. I got receipts. You could go and look at some other videos. I'm with Biden, welcoming him to my city, giving him gifts. I welcome Bernie Sanders, Andy Yang, and what's his name? Andy Yang. Amy Goldberg, anybody that was running for office, congressmen, North Cross, all the different people. I have campaigned, I've given speeches, I've held big rallies, even in Independence Mall. I've had permits for rallies around city halls and stuff. I've done it all. That's who I am. That I represent for the people I represent.
Well, Liz, I guess you're a perfect person then.
But you can see me. I phone banked, I canvassed, I did door to door.
Strong. What point are you trying to make? Like, what point are you trying to make?
What?
He said the KKK were Christian also.
No, I don't know what they were. I know they were Democrats. I know the KKK were Democrats, so you're probably right, because it's different type of Christianities these days, because God said he'll know you by your walk. It's not just saying that, but the Democrats were KKK. How about that? Isn't that something? I always thought it was the Republicans. No, it was the Democrats. They had 10 population. They all voted for Daddy. Kinsey Cobb. The KKK was not. Yeah, the KKK. Look it up. The KKK was Democrats. Look it up. See, it's funny how a lot of things we don't know. But one thing I do know is that the mainstream media was biased. That I believed everything that they was dishing out about that man. And I fought with everything in me voting against Trump. But not this time.
Like Megan said also, Trump made mistakes just like all of us.
All of us. None of us are perfect. Even in a relationship, you can have your husband and wife. Y'all not going to agree on everything. Your children, y'all not going to agree on everything. Your work buddies, your best friends, you're not going to agree on everything. Nobody's 100%. No one. You got to hold people accountable. It doesn't matter. Y'all looking at party. I'm looking at what's going on. So maybe that's the difference. Like what's going on. I don't like everything Elon Musk is doing. And if you look at some of my other videos, if you look at Speak the Truth 2.0, you see we talked about DEI. We did videos about Elon Musk. We did videos about things that we were not in agreement with. But then we do videos that we are in agreement with. And that's how this channel is made up, is Speak the Truth. And a lot of times people don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts. And so that's when they start getting angry. That's when they don't know what to say. Instead of communicating, they're just, name call, get angry, and they just say fluff. I'll just call it fluff. That it doesn't make any sense. They're just saying something out of hate.
Got a black girl in here leaving hateful comments.
Well, she can go ahead. God is good.
You need to block her
No, I don't care. Let her hear. If she's on it, that's a part of the plantation. 93% of black people voted for freaking Indian. They're talking about she washed collard greens in a freaking bathtub. I don't know what black that is, but that's not what we do. And then she became a preacher. And then she said, when the young man was talking about Christ is King and Jesus is Lord, she said, oh, you need to go down to that rally, the little rally down the street. She didn't even welcome Jesus there. So all that was just fluff. And knucklehead tampon Tim, I guess maybe she was for tampons in men's bathroom. I don't know.
Miss Bob, why don't you give me one valid argument why you don't support Trump. And don't say the typical things people say, like he's a dictator.
Well, people got these talking points, but he's trying to bring money back into this country, and I haven't seen any other president. He got $50 billion from Apple, $20 billion today. I forget from what company, $20 billion today. He got from Waze, some other tech company. They're bringing in $7 billion. Trump is bringing money, and then he's making these other countries pay their share. Because the United States, he's like, why are we paying more for Ukraine war when we're over here? But Europe is paying 10 times like less than we are.
And now she goes missing. So now she disappeared.
But we want, it's all right. I don't want, like, we're not trying to block people. We just want, like, if you have a point, if you say that last administration was great, tell me what was great about it for Americans. It was great for immigrants, illegal immigrants. It wasn't great for Americans. It was nothing great for Americans. Americans were last. They didn't even take care of Americans, but they used our money. They used our money with frivolous things. But we were given $20 million to see if mice was transgender mice. $22 million in somewhere for Sesame Street, Gaza somewhere. I mean, they just, these frivolous companies or whatever. What? What are you laughing
Now
at?
she said I'm fine.
Okay. Oh, she came back. Okay.
My mom has a BMW. How you say your name? Alacause, and I made $200K at 16. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, we children of the Most High God. We're not barely making it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've never.
Say
Oh,
what?
someone. It's okay. Thank you so much, Megan. You did a lot. Thank you so much. No, but see, like I said, we
Miss
don't do.
Bob, what's your Instagram?
We don't. Our help coming from God. We're Christians. We belong to the Christian party, not the Democrat, the Republican, the Christian party. Everything we have comes from God. But we want everybody to be blessed. We're blessed to be a blessing. It's not about us. And that's the first thing people say if they see black people. Oh, like, we have never struggled. No one in my family has ever struggled. Everybody in my family got single homes, drive luxury cars, are educated, have multiple degrees. But that's because of the mindset that's been put in our family. We're like, people look at, I guess, even black people, and they think that for some reason that stereotype, I don't know if that's still going on, but it's not true.
During these last years, it seems like Democrats are the racist ones.
Democrats are,
hateful ones.
it's not I always thought the Republicans were the most racist. I'm not saying they not. Some of them are racist, but I'm so surprised to find out how racist the Democrat Party really is. It's supposed to be the divisive and equity. What is it? Divisive equity and inclusion party, civil rights party. And they say the most racist, toxic things you can imagine. And it's not coming from the Republicans. It doesn't come from the Republicans. It comes, all the comments since we've been doing this, and this is a new channel, we thank everyone. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. You guys get the likes up. But I always thought that it would come from the Republicans. But it's never have come from the Republicans. It's the Democrats that say the most vulgar, racist, or nasty things instead of just having your own opinion. These are our opinion, even though we tell them the truth, and we know people don't welcome the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They want you to talk about, like, you have channels and people will talk about what people want to hear. They'll get on there and they'll talk, even black people, they'll talk down about black people. They'll talk down about this or that for views. We don't do that. We're not talking down. We're just speaking the truth about situations. We're not going to sugarcoat it, because you might not like it, but it's doing an injustice to people when nobody is telling them the truth or speaking the truth. And like we don't know everything. So we welcome, you can enlighten us, but you have to be respectful. Be respectful. Like, you want someone to be respectful towards you, because what you reap is what you sow. So get nasty with us tomorrow when you go out to your job or work or somewhere, you be wondering why that person being nasty to you, because that's what you sown. Because God said what you sow, so shall you reap. So when you come on here and you think you could hide and say all kinds of things, you're going to get it right back at you. But they're going to be in your face. That's how it goes. God got our back. Like I say, not today.
Someone said, Randolph said, more conservatives of color, please.
We try. Yeah, but it takes a lot when people, like, traditionally like our people never, like, we're not listening to policy. We're not realizing nothing is being done for us. We're being told the same lies every 4 years. Nobody keeps any promises, and we continue to give, vote
God
for a
bless you.
party that doesn't support us. But when we don't vote that way, they get all up arms. We got family members that won't speak to us. They want to control. Like they telling even family members. You don't hear Republicans doing that, saying don't talk to your family members, don't talk to your husband, don't. That's what the Democrats were doing. They get upset because, especially in the Black community, you didn't vote the way we wanted you to, so we're not going to speak to you. This is what families are doing,
Lay, we're getting
including ours.
We're getting a lot of comments, Lay, so we haven't saw what you said.
Including ours. People. It's just so amazing that it's more hate comes from the Democratic Party. More racist remarks, more like anger, and it doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to be the party. It used to be. That's why I said it's not the same party as yesteryear. Y'all can check out that other video I did maybe a few days ago.
Bridget.
That the Democratic Party is not the party yesteryear. This is not the same party. The way they acted and the way they carry on, now they cussing. Like Jasmine Crockett, as an example, she was being interviewed and she said for Trump to F off, or no, he's the enemy of the country. Did you talking about the president? And then she said, then she was like the word, he's a hoe.
Yeah,
she called
Putin's hoe.
And told like Elon to F off. I mean, the way they are just cursing, and they went to school. They supposed to have a dictionary. They supposed to have some knowledge to be able to exercise the words in the dictionary without having to speak like someone off the with lesser education.
A Black girl said, "Praying for you. How could you vote against your own interests?"
That's what you did. You voted against your own interests. They're not doing nothing for you. You're living on a plantation. What was my interest? My interest was the 1994 bill with mass incarceration, what Biden provided. That was my interest. You ain't Black unless you vote Democrat. Is that it? That mass incarceration that happened to our people, promises made, promises broken. How much longer are we going to do that? Another 60 years? It's just funny that the mindset, nothing's being done for you or have been done for you. Maybe we should have looked for the Republicans. Let them fight it out for our votes. The Republicans have done more for us, and we don't even vote for them, than the Democratic Party. Yeah. And that's a fact. You need to look it up. But we so stuck in our ways, and we see that they don't give us anything. But they tell us, you're going to lose this, and you're going to lose those food stamps. You're going to lose that. But it's more white people that need aid than Black people. In actuality, it's more them than it is of us. They're receiving more benefits than us. But they always make us the poster child.
Now they say, you too, sis. I guess that's all they could say.
But we got to educate yourself. Look, and I used to be the same way. 4 years ago, when you can look at my videos, you'll see me with Biden. I've been with Obama. I've been with all kinds. I need to post more receipts is what I need to, so people can see that I'm not just someone on it. I'm actually been in government.
Well, Elon's not president.
Yeah, he's not.
They say Elon hates you.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? He's not president.
Who cares? Do you think he like you? Elon is not in it for money. See, when you got people that don't need money, they can actually get the job done. Tell me how Jasmine Crockett makes $175,000 a year, but her net worth now is $9 million. Thank you, Rita.
It's against Trump.
Oh, well, we respect what people say.
They said Trump.
Oh, we can't say that.
You can't really say that, but you mad at Jasmine.
But look at what Clinton did. He was having oral sex in the freaking White House. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, and that's just.
Did they impeach him?
And come on.
Did he go to court? He was having sex in the White House.
And if you're a guy, that's guy talk. Guys talk about things like that.
He was having, this man was having sex, and then he told me he smoked marijuana, but he didn't inhale. He had other women other than Monica Lewinsky. What about these people? It's just so funny. He was actually having a good time in the Oval Office. And people, it's like we so one-sided, but when you have people and look at Nancy Pelosi, how is she worth $110 million? These people make like $100,000 a year. All of them becoming rich off of us. All that money laundering going on. But see, they can't buy Trump. See, the Koch brothers always controlled the elections. They always funded elections, but they couldn't buy Trump. And they certainly can't buy Elon. There's nothing in it for them.
Daniel says, spread the truth. Beautiful.
Thank you. It's nothing in it for them. That's why they didn't want him in there. And Trump about to release what went down with his assassination attempt. How is it that his life was attempted twice? A former president, a life was attempted twice, and we never heard it. It was like old news. Didn't hear nothing about it. Nothing. Never heard nothing from the parents.
Much love to you.
We heard nothing. No, they scrubbed that clean. Something happened. But he said he's going to release that. He wants to release stuff. The people from the FBI, he stepped down. They redacting different information off of, some of the paperwork.
Now his father got a lawyer. Like, what do you need a lawyer for? Like, there's a lot going on with that.
There's a lot. And they talking about even the past. Who pardons their whole freaking family? And your son for 10 years. And there was a laptop. I mean, and they were meeting with China. And China was able to fly a balloon over our entire country. And they know where all our military bases are. All our stuff. They got eyes on us. They even had it there talking about we can have any kind of war y'all want because we haven't been building up our military. We sending our tanks and stuff over to freaking Ukraine. We gotta build up our military, and that's what Trump is going to do again. So we're thankful to have a president that he's not taking crap from anybody. They know it. When Trump came in, he threw his jacket like that. He like, yeah, Trump is a boss. He a boss. I do respect a real leader. I respect a boss, and a leader recognize leaders.
Why do you say we want to be white? Is it because we don't follow what typically black people follow?
We're not sheep.
We have our own opinions.
We're not sheep.
We think for ourselves. Why do you think we're trying to act white?
How about this happens to be our personalities?
Yeah.
How about this is who we are? This is who we are. And just in case you didn't know, there's no white section, black section, Asian section, Indian section in heaven. Is humans. God, we're made in God's image. We're the human race. We're not trying. The last thing I want to be is white. I love being black. I think we have swag, cool, everybody imitate us in everything from music, culture, dance, everything. I love who God made me to be. And whatever race you are, you should love how God created you.
Love you too.
Period.
Cars say, and you're beautiful.
Thank you. And when we go to heaven, we're going to have our spirituality. It's not going to be a what color you are. We got to get over that. We do. Most of the world wants, even white people, they want color in them. That's why they tan in the summer or all year round. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having some melanin in your skin.
Oh, that was nice.
What?
Repair said some of the best people are black. Just look in the mirror.
Thank you.
That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, but we gotta love everyone, and be happy how you were created. You shouldn't feel some type of way, or want to be a different race. You're the race that you're supposed to be, and you should be good with that. So no, this is just, we're not white. This is just who we are. This is who we are.
Mom, just like you shouldn't want to be a different gender. You
should want to be a different gender. And that's like saying, like, that's how come when I look at someone now, it wasn't enough to be gay. Then now they want to be, now I want to be a woman. I'm looking at you, a man with a beard. But you trying to say you're a woman. It don't work. That's like me saying, I identify as an Asian. I'm an Asian woman. And y'all seeing a black woman. And that's the make-believe that woke want us to go along with it. We see a man, but because he say he a woman, but he got a penis and balls in the locker room, and girls are supposed to undress, but he's a man. But we supposed to pretend like the emperor has new clothes. And the emperor, you know the story, the emperor is really naked, but everybody lying to him, they can see these clothes, and he has no clothes until that child says he's naked.
And I'm gonna ask him a question. How can you support a party that, like, this just happened, that voted to keep men and women's sports?
All of them. Every last one of them. And they had the audacity to wear pink yesterday, the women, and they just voted to keep men and women's sports.
That's why Riley Gaines is like, I'm doing a protest.
I would support her.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised y'all see me out there. I'll support that. You know, I'm an activist. I'm an advocate because that's what I do. And that's what I was doing for the Democratic Party. You know, right now, I'm MIA, and, you know, they like, where's Cindy at? Yeah. Oh, well. I guess it was a mutiny. So, anyway, we have to just stand on principles, stand on morals, and I had to look at, like, what this party has become. It's not the same party. It's not the party of yesteryear. And like I said, I did videos on that, like, a few days ago, that the Democratic Party is not the same party. This is a whole different, and the leadership is different. Look who they had. The best that they could come up with was a Kamala and Tampon Tim. That was horrible.
But let me ask you this.
What
do you think that the Biden family has done to pardon all of them?
They're
what
criminals.
Have they done?
They're criminals.
All like Hunter?
And they lie. They talking about Biden was like, I never met with President Xi. Then they produced pictures with him with President Xi and Hunter talking and making deals. Oh, we never talked to Russia. Oh, they got deals with Russia. It's crazy, all the lying that really goes on out here. But half the stuff we'll never know what really goes on. And it's funny because even in Congress, a lot of them are friends. Like they work together every day, but for the public, they act up and, you know, out you know, they just act out of character.
Someone said maybe he forgot.
I don't know, but the Democratic Party, I will never vote for them again as long as they run on abortion, as long as they into same-sex marriages, as long as they into mutilating kids, as long as they have men and women allowed. All the list goes on and on. As long as they don't put America first.
And Cynthia said something agreeing with that. She said, can never vote for that. I will never vote for men and women's sports, especially allowing men and girls restrooms.
No. And somebody's going to wind up getting hurt like that because when that father see his daughter come out and this man walk out, I know these things is already happening. A man is not going to go for that this man walking out with his daughter. They're not going to, and he probably exposed himself. No, they're not going to go for that.
And putting men in female prisons. Now the girls are getting pregnant.
They're getting pregnant left and right. They put I think 1,000 different of them saying, because the first thing they're doing is saying they identify as women. And they putting them in women prisons and they're impregnating the women and stuff. You know, that's all they have to say. And they all man. So we're just living in a crazy time, and we just gotta really speak the truth. And the Democratic Party, like all that foolery that's going on, they're not representing anyone. They're not representing their party, and they have to understand that they're supposed to represent all the people. It's not just those who voted for them. Like President Trump, he's the president of all Americans, not MAGA, not Republicans. He's the president of all of us. And they are the same. And now they're doing the blame game. Let's see what they had to say. You know, it's ridiculous. And they voted to censor Al Green. and the resolution, and then once they voted, he didn't even want to hear the vote.
Okay, someone keeps spamming saying you only read what suits your views. That's the problem. You aren't reading the other side or completely ignorant.
You know what? Obviously, you haven't been listening, and you could even go back to other videos.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times I'm just really kind of saying the same thing, but the other side, that's all I've heard, and I've heard, oh, thank you so much, Regis Elijah. There, thank you for clearing up the difference between Democrats of today and yesteryear. MAGA is not conservative.
Or Republican is open to many views.
It's open to many views, absolutely. And that's what people don't understand. The Democratic Party has changed. It is not the same party as yesteryear. And that's how my video, I think we did it, 2 days ago or 3 days ago. It's not the same party of yesteryear. It is not the same. And the people that are running it, that's in charge right now, they're not they're not like John F. Kennedy, I guess, like when they had President Kennedy and people like that, you know.
I think Camille got a crush on me.
Who?
Camille.
Okay. You know, so it's like, and even Gavin Newsom now is admitting that men should not be in women's sports. That's big. He went against his party now. Gavin Newsom has admitted. I don't know, I don't want to have him on, but maybe we could get some of that he's admitting, and that's big, because the rest of the party voted against.
Insanely ignorant. You think you better than what you really are.
Why is it you were able to clean it up for Xi Jinping? You can't clean it up.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What? I didn't ask you to put that on yet.
I will happily.
Yeah, no, I had to find it. I don't want to hear his whole. I just want to hear him admit about men shouldn't be in women's sports.
Camille, you got a crush on me, baby girl. This is for you. I love you, but you know I'm taken. But hey, I appreciate it, Camille. Yeah, Camille. Thank you, Gina.
Here's why I'm concerned, because you expressed that I should be concerned as a Democrat. That we're getting.
Camille got a crush on me, but I keep telling her I'm taken, you know. I got a girl. You know. She got a crush on me. Yeah, that's a sign. I know. Camille got a crush, bruh. Camille, I'm taken. I'm sorry.
I mean, is this a Glade session?
Oh, good night, man. Thanks.
What?
We said new sub, signing off.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Jesse too. I'm getting all these girls tonight. Jesse got a crush on me too. Camille and Jesse. Yeah, I'm on a roll. They got a crush on me. I'm taking those.
So that's easy to call out the unfairness of that. There's also humility and grace.
Are you coming back to the stream?
That
Yeah.
people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety, depression.
Draco says, stand strong in the truth. Hat is awesome. Thanks, free thinker. Yeah, golf MAGA. Hey, people leaving.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to find, but Gavin Newsom, he had like, you know, it was amazing that for him to admit that that men shouldn't be in women's sports, because they won't even admit to something like that. I don't see how a man or woman will have their child or boy or girl and, you know, feel okay that a boy is all right for a boy to hit a girl so hard in the head that she gets traumatic brain injury. I don't understand how, you know, people see that these are men and they say they're for women's rights, but women, medals and awards and scholarships and everything and records that women will never be able to break are being taken away from them. You know, so it doesn't make any sense, but it's good to see that we do have people that that really that's on the left, like someone like Gavin Newsom, for him to make a statement, he just went against his whole party, admitting that.
That's some changing to for future elections.
Yeah, because he know it's not working.
Yeah.
He's still like, but I don't want them to start lying. I want you to don't lie to get elected. You know, I want you really to believe in what you're standing for, just like people on here. You know, I want you stand 10 toes down for what you believe in.
Daniel,
you know,
Daniel said, "Do you think 2020 was rigged, or is Trump lying?"
You know what? If you would have asked me this in 2020, I was so happy that Trump lost. I thought America was saved because I believe everything that was being said. But there's no way on God's green earth that Biden got more votes than anybody in American history. He was not that popular. He did not get, and Trump was the incumbent president. And it's hard to beat out a president. I do believe they stole it from him. I never believed it before, but I do believe they did take it from him. They took the election from him. They rigged it. But Trump and them, they were on it this time. I do believe that they rigged it at this point. But I didn't before. But all they went through to keep him out, all these charges. He had like 2 or 3 assassinations attempts and try to lock him up, try to take his money, try to take him off the ballot. They did everything. They threw the kitchen sink at that man.
They had Laura Trump doing great work.
Yeah, Laura Trump did great work. She got those lawyers all over the United States together and put people in these polling places to made it too big to rig, and that's what it was first time in 20 years that a Republican candidate had the popular vote. And Trump got the popular vote, and he won all the swing states on top of it. Kamala didn't win anything. He had to run against Kamala, and he had to run against Joe Biden. So that's the first time I saw a candidate. I didn't know they could do that. I didn't even know that was law. I didn't know that you could take someone out and you can run against them. I never knew that you could do that. But that's what they did. They had 2 candidates. The Democrats had 2 candidates that ran against Trump, and he beat both of them.
And Biden is saying if he was still in the election,
Biden is funny.
He's
He's
Trump.
funny, but he's not funny. He was dangerous.
Yeah.
Biden was dangerous.
It's like he would have beaten Trump if he stayed in.
He was trying to give us a World War III. He didn't care. He only got so many years probably left on Earth. He didn't care what was happening to the rest of us. So he didn't. They was trying to start a war before he left office.
Mike, how can you say that when you're watching though?
What?
No, he's saying like imagine doing this on a Thursday night, defending Trump, doing your life like this. But I'm like, you're watching, so
we're standing for what we believed in.
Yeah,
we're not standing for something to entertain you. This is what we believe in. And like I said, I was on the other side of the fence. I believe totally what Fox, MSNBC was telling me. That was my go-to. I used to love Morning Joe, MSNBC, CBS, Rachel Maddow, you name them. I was glued. I thought they were speaking the gospel. I thought Fox, I thought all the Republicans were the racists. I had no idea that it was the Democrats are showing to be more racist than what the freaking Republicans are. And it's surprising when you see the reality. Like even on this stream, it's not the Republicans that are being racist or nasty or saying just like upset. They're upset that you don't agree with them. I mean, like, you have a right to believe. That's the American, isn't that our American right? We can believe what we want to believe.
I see someone just said a racist comment.
But that just shows that they weak and they're a coward.
Yeah.
That just shows that you have no character. That shows that you have no integrity. That says a lot about who the person that you are. So that shows that you need a lot of growing. Hopefully your kids, you don't have children, that they're not learning this behavior. And that's the sad thing about it, that you can't pick your parents and all of that, but the behavior, and that's coming from the liberals, who I've always seen when you don't keep supporting them, this is the result of it. The conversation needs to be had.
See, that's what they did though. Like, it's if you're black and you support Trump, it's not the cool thing to do, or you're a sellout, or you're a traitor, or if you're a traitor.
Look, for one thing, I'm the most coolest person you can meet. So
that's how
all swag.
That's how they tried to get people on to stay on
But
their side.
all that
don't
mind,
think for
but that
themselves.
doesn't work here.
Yeah.
That doesn't, because we are free thinkers. That doesn't work here. I'm a leader. See, when you're a leader, you don't follow people. People follow me. So when you're a leader, you know, you're not a follower. So I'm not going to follow someone just because I don't want to make you mad or because you're not going to speak to me. It's okay. It's okay.
A great example, just look at the church and the pastors. He's supposed to be Christians for God, and the Bible, the Word of God, are for the Democratic Party that does everything the opposite of God.
They're doing the opposite, and they talking about they Christians, but you're doing the opposite of God.
That's because, like,
God is not in the stuff. Look at pastors like Jamal Bryant. I know that's not popular. I'm gonna do probably him tomorrow, because he's mad that black people went to the White House and you know, like they try to say Trump is a racist, but then when he does Black History Month, then they have a problem with that. Then he's the only president I've ever seen that said that he wants to honor black people and their contributions to America, that he's going to have a park for black people with statues, artwork, different accomplishments, and honoring our ancestors, honoring our greats that have come before us, like people like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, Kobe Bryant, you know, different people that have contributed to America. You know how many people don't even know the inventors and the people we have. And you know what? We want to give respect out to white people too, because during the civil, what was it? During the
Hey, Essence.
Oh, you know, there she go. Like during
How you
say
doing?
like in the 60s or whatever, white people marched with black people. They died for black people. It was one man, I forget his name, God forgive me, but he laid, I wish I could find that video. He laid in front of the bulldozer and then he died that day. There was a lot of white people that they don't, that's history. That's why we need our history and black history and stuff to be in the schools, because there have been white people that have sacrificed their lives as well, that have led marches, that have been arm in arm with Dr. Martin Luther King and other leaders, you know, during, you know, those times in history. You know, prior to that, even during slavery time, was white people that helped black people, taught them how to read and write and different things. You know, so it's a lot that we don't talk about, that we need to talk about. But one thing about it, I'm happy, is that we are one nation under God, and we are Americans, and we need to be proud of who we are, because we have a lot going on in our country, and we needed someone like Trump to come in and put America first. Put America first. I'm for America first. Put us first. I'm gonna put my household first. Take care of our house first, because we're always doing this. For the rest of the world, we're the ATM of the world, and when we need help, we don't get the help. We're the last on the totem pole. But it's great to have a president that's looking out for Americans, and that's how it should be, and that's what I voted for. And I know he probably gonna do stuff that's going to disappoint me, because no one's perfect. But with the majority of the stuff he's doing, we're getting respect back, whether y'all want to believe it or not. But the Democrats, only thing they're doing is jumping up and down and fighting him on everything, instead of, how about supporting your president? How about supporting him? Take the time to support him.
Great. I'm doing, that's great, Essence. I'm doing well too.
I wanted to see your hair, but you always have your hat on.
Someone said, do you support Biden? No, did you support Biden?
Yeah, I did. The last election. The previous election, not the 2020 election. I campaigned, canvassed. You know, I did the whole 9 yards, did speeches, had big rallies, had my own group of people. I had, you know, signing them the phone bank, making calls all around the country, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Partisan travel around the United States. I did all of that to get him elected. He got elected, but not this time. I was MIA. I'm like, oh, heck no.
There's a video on the channel of
No.
her actually.
Yeah, you look on the channel, you see me with Biden and greeting him and saying hi to him. But I, you know, met all like the different presidential candidates and some different presidents and things like that, you know, because of being a legislative director. So, but you know, that I love doing that, you know, because you get to know these people and get to see them in like in a different light when you go to the functions and, you know, when they have the different events that you attend, you know, from Nancy Pelosi, all of them. It's so many people that I've been to so many other different events, but it's fun. Actually, it's fun being in that environment because you're in the rooms with a lot of movers and shakers and people making decisions that trickle down to us and that, you know, eventually affects, you know, the people. So, but all that stuff is important. But this time, you know, they went far left. That, like I didn't sign up for open borders. That did it for me. I had no idea that this man was going to allow our country to be invaded at the rate. Like, you can't have 14, 20 million, whatever people coming in here, and it doesn't negatively impact the country. It affected us.
Trump had a great team, and he still has a great team. Like, I loved how he got.
Thank you.
I loved how he got Barron.
Yeah,
for the young vote.
Yeah, Barron. He's running for governor because people was like, why did he choose Barron for in the cabinet? But that's because he has his eye on being the governor of Florida.
I was talking about his son.
Oh, yeah. His son. Yeah, I thought he was talking about Byron Donalds because he did a lot for the election as well. But he's running for the governor of Florida. We're going to annex Canada too. Hey, the Canada president, he was talking big yesterday. He was like, Donald, we're going to tariff you, Donald. He didn't call him President Trump or Donald. He was the big guy on campus. Today he's crying on TV. He's crying. I mean, come on now. You got to keep it together. You can't don't try to see. We see Trump for the cameras, but there's a different Trump behind the scenes because he get with people. He know what to do with them. He let them know that the sheriff, the boss is back. He let them know. He know how to swing that power around. He let them know. I'm not playing with y'all. You know, he knows what to do. He's a world leader. And I don't know if anybody's going to come in behind him. The deals that he's done within a few days. I mean, what president has brought money into our country? We give out money. We the ATM. What country have brought in money? People making deposits. They're depositing money at the rate he's getting into our economy, into our economy and everything. When has that happened? And he's just getting started. He's just getting started. And I don't like to think with the federal jobs that Elon is doing, but Obama, I think it was Obama. I forget one of the presidents. It might have been Obama or Clinton. One of them. They got rid of 426,000 jobs, federal jobs. They downsized or revamped the federal government. So this is not the first time, and it's not unheard of, but I think they're going to have to go back and they're going to have to do some rehiring because you can't let go of the vets, because a lot of the veterans, like after they serve their military time, they go and they work for the government because they can carry over their annual leave, their sick leave, and their retirement. All that goes, they keep their seniority and everything. So hopefully they're make sure that if they let any vets go in the federal government, that they'll get them back because they fought for our country, and they're the last to go. Period. We got to take care of our vets. Period. And that's the right thing. We're taking care of. And you got vets saying they're not getting any money for food. They don't have the shelter, but we're doing this for people who have not offer anything into our economy, and we're taking care of all of them. And Americans are talking about we don't have money for rent, our interest rates are too high. Young people like my son, they can't buy their own houses because of inflation. All this stuff Trump inherited. He inherited all this. So He's took 4 years to get here. You gotta give him 4 years to clean it up. And that's life.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's so controversial to say the money that we gave the illegal immigrants should have went to black people for reparations.
Oh yeah,
but that's controversial to say though.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that money that they gave the illegal immigrants that was our reparations money. They knew it. They didn't want to give it to us. But we actually worked in this country. We actually paid taxes. We actually were enslaved people that built this country off of free labor. So we were deserving. It would have changed so many black people's lives, that they would have that footing and that equal opportunity to build. It would have been less crime, less robbery, less everything. And it would have been the betterment of the country because we spend our money back into the communities. We keep everybody afloat. The Asians, they want to thank us because they in all our neighborhoods, we're making them rich. The Italians, everybody come and they spend black money, so it would have just empowered us. But you don't mind giving it to people that didn't do anything, didn't earn any taxes, didn't work in this country, but we freely give it to them, but don't want to give it to the people that are here. That's just how the world is.
And it upsets some people. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's controversial.
Look, I want my reparations today, okay? If we could give it to them that haven't worked at all in this country, they weren't enslaved in this country, then they could give it to us.
They weren't born in this country.
They weren't born in this country, okay? So they could give it to us. I do not. Like you hear people say, I want mine. I most definitely want mine. They gave it to the Japanese, the Chinese, the indigenous. Everybody got their reparations except for black people. When it comes to black, oh yeah, y'all don't need it. We got to keep asking and fighting for it. And they just say, oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. Oh, y'all have it. How many billions? Even in New York, they paid $6.9 billion since 2022 for illegal immigrants. $6.9 billion, but they got to cut off. They have cut off, sanitary services in the city. They cutting everything. They trying to charge them what's that tax? Just for them a driving tax?
That's what people say. What I guy said. He said you are not a slave. You're not getting any money.
Neither were they. Why did they get money? Neither were they. But my people was enslaved. We built this country, and it's owed to us just like all the other races that suffer at the hands of injustices. We're the children of those people. And they owe that. They enslaved people. Do you know what slavery was like for black people? You know what they did to black people and still have done to black peoples? The people have suffered because of all the injustices. There hasn't been any justice. But people will have a problem with that, but nobody has a problem giving it to people that weren't born here. How about giving it to 16 million of them? What did they do? You don't have a problem with that. Not at all. But we worked. We worked for it. And we're still working for it. We're still working for it. That's why they got black people in prisons. That's slave labor. They take the young black guys, they give them 40 years. Slave, that's another form of slavery. There are books about how they manipulate society and how they still have a form of slavery. That's how they have it still going on. We're still working, still earning slave labor wages. So, but it's no problem giving it to them. But I want mine. So I don't care what anybody say.
The Taliban.
I want mine. Yeah, give the Taliban $40 million cash payment per week. Don't have a problem giving it to terrorists.
And Ukraine.
Don't have a problem giving it to a war that is not our war. $350 billion since 2021. And we're taking care of 240,000 of them here. They're on our Medicaid. They're getting SNAP and Social Security. Y'all don't have a problem with that. I want my reparations.
Zelensky.
I want my reparation. Maybe you got to act like Zelensky. You got a little poor go and sit up there. Give me money. It's ridiculous. None of them worked in this country, labor in this country. They have done nothing for this country. We take care of the world. They haven't done nothing, but we have. How about that? That's the right thing to do. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. You can do it for everyone, even terrorists, even illegal immigrants, even Ukraine, everybody. But not y'all. No, 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 no. That was or slavery was a horrible thing. That about you imagine, you know, having your child and they ripping your child from you. They putting you on selling blocks, chains around your ankle, and selling you as a person. They could whoop, beat you. They could kill you. They could do whatever they want to you. Work from sun up to sundown. They withheld education from you because knowledge is power. They didn't want you to learn. They wanted you to be ignorant, not knowing their language. They didn't want you to be taught the language. That's how they could keep and suppress us. They could lynch people. They could chase slaves down. They had to run from them. Dogs got treated better than black people. They could rape your children, your kids, your sons, anybody. They could do whatever. They owned you. And they worked you out in those fields from sun up to sundown. Slaves built Washington. They built this country. Offered free labor. Free labor. And even when it ended, it still went on. And they didn't even tell people that slavery was over with. They still was using. And you know who they did get reparations to? Guess who got reparations? The slave owners. They got reparations because they were losing their slaves. So you're going to give it to the slave owners? What's this? No. They're going to give it to the slave owners, and they're not going to give it to the people that were actually slaves. Look that up. They gave it to the slave owners. They received reparations. Look that up. Look it up. So if we're gonna talk about how we got to start talking about, but I most definitely look, make it available because I want mines. I want mines. Okay, and that's how I feel about it. Like as soon as they offer it, I want mines because if we could give it to people that weren't born here, people that have came illegally here, then I want it. I would never deny that. And anybody don't want us to have it is because they not getting it. Or they not getting it. They not black. So, you know, of course they don't want it to happen, but they don't mind Trinidad the Raga getting it. They don't mind the cartel getting it. They don't mind Afghanistan getting it. They don't mind none of that. Get out of here. You know, I'm a stand for. I would never deny that. And I think that it would change the mindset and it would do a lot to help my people culturally, that it would really give a boost to the economy because we're here. So it will help the economy because all we do is put it back into America. It won't be going overseas. It'll be right here and building up, and then you won't have people fighting over goods, fighting over houses, or people trying to rob you because everybody will be set. Everyone will be set. And if you could give it to everyone else, then don't stop here. And because they don't want to give it is the thing. But if you can give it to people that are not even Americans, they're not even Americans, then you could give it to us. And that's what I have to say about it. And I don't care if you agree or not. It doesn't matter because you're not going to give me any money anyway. So you're not going to give us reparations. But it's the right thing for this country to do. If you look at the history that really what black people have endured, and we still endure injustices and things, even now in 2025. Even today was in the news. I think it was trending. Like the cops, not only did they have the mother handcuffed, they had a toddler, a baby laying on the ground, handcuffed. They had a baby laying face down. They sometimes like they need to be fired because you don't treat anyone like that. A mother and a baby. You gonna have even in the baby to lay down? I mean, what kind of inhumanity is that? What kind of inhumanity is that? You know, and that's how they view some black people because they can get away with it. But but illegal aliens could kick them in the head, and they don't do all that. They could beat them down, and the judges let them right out, catch and release. It makes no sense. So the judiciary system allows this to happen. That's why we need an anti-hate crime bill, because stuff like that's wrong. Look it up. It was on X today. Look it up. I mean, I'm like, good God. I heard them locking up our children, putting handcuffs in school, little 8-year-olds. So they're traumatized them for the rest of their lives. So now they're scared of cops for the rest of their lives. You know, instead of looking at the cop as a servant and here to serve and here to protect you, they let the kids think, oh, the cop is the enemy. When you see a cop, then that's the idea that a black child can have, that a cop is bad. A cop is danger. Not a cop is supposed to be your hero. A cop is supposed to be your help. So the bad cops, emotionally, they're destructive to children. And that's why it was bad not having fathers in the household to set an example for their children, because there are biases. There is, like people try to say this, that people aren't racist. Yeah, they're racist, and they're racist in the Democratic Party. And they're supposed to be for equal rights, civil rights, and all that. You know, but you're going to have people like that. That's because the people act like that because they're not comfortable in their own skin. That's because they lack confidence. That's because they like, a lot of times people want to push other people down so they can feel more superior. That makes them feel more empowered. I'm like the big guy on campus when you're nothing. You're not. You know, but that's how some people are. You know, they want to feel like the knock people down. It makes them feel more superior in their mind when it's not there. But, you know, there's a lot of work we still have to do. To have that child lay on, the baby lay on the ground too, face down. Really? Really? What, really? But that's how they view black people. And guess what? They feel like they wouldn't do it if they didn't feel like they could get away with it. That was unnecessary. That was crazy. But they do the children like that. That's what they do. And it needs to stop. And it's sad because that makes all the good cops look bad. You know, the good cops, they're good cops. But they all get a bad rap when stuff like that happens. You know, and that's unfair to them, for the bad ones on the force. And I realized that some of the people that are the most cowards are the ones that were bullied in school, the ones that got beat up all the time. Those are the ones that become the cops, and then those are the ones who want the badges, because now they have some power, but they're the worst ones to have that type of position because they're cowards and they can hide behind the badge and they can take advantage of the law. And that's not right. That's not right. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Christ is King and Jesus is Lord. And we just want to say I just pray that all is well. I know it's always going to be bitter people, but you know, you need to be happy. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I shall rejoice and be glad in it. People are so miserable these days. It's just so sad that, you know, maybe you have a better life. You need to just try to be a better person. Hug, hug, hug. Yeah, you gotta just have some joy in your life. Life is too short to be miserable about everything. You know, find some joy, find some peace. God said that peace I leave with you. That's when he said that he left us peace. He said he gave us peace that passes all understanding through Christ Jesus. So people just need peace, and they need to focus on having a goal, just like Jeremiah 29:17. He said, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. Have some hope. Have some goal. You know, God gave me this channel to speak the truth. This was put in my spirit to do. You know, because you need to have that balance, and the truth hurts. And I don't expect anyone and everyone to agree, but I could tell when people are going through stuff because the things that they say, that when they try to be insulting, but you can't insult a child of God, because I know who I belong to. I know who I love. God, I love who I am, and I'm blessed to be a blessing, and that's why I'm gonna pray for anybody and everyone that said any negative things. I know hurting people try to hurt people, and they're just hurting, and I understand it. My son has no tolerance for you, but I do, because I don't care. I don't internalize it. I welcome it because I'm built for it. I find it kind of funny, to be honest, but because I know that it's something deeper, and not funny in that way, because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I just have that natural joy. But anyway, I just want to pray for all those that have anything negative to say, or people, they wouldn't be on here if it wasn't registering, because you don't have to be on here if it's not something you agree with, but you're here. And if you're here for a reason. So I pray in the mighty name of Jesus, Father God, I pray that whatever they're going through, I pray that you bless them, God, from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet. I pray that you open up doors that no man can shut. I pray, Father God, that you provide for them, that you said, beloved, above all, I wish that thou may prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. So I pray, God, that they're going through any kind of illness, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Father God, you said that you were wounded for our transgressions. You were bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of your peace was upon us. And with your stripes, we were healed. That means it's already done. You ain't got to keep praying to God, please heal me, God. Please heal me of this diabetes. Please heal me, God, of this arthritis. Please heal me, God, of whatever, this broken leg, whatever it is. Or this emotional pain that this person left me, or this person's no longer my friend, or this pain of loss. People are going through so much. Or I just lost my job. God, what am I going to do? Help me, Jesus. Just call on the Lord, because God is a provider. Don't worry about what you should eat. Like God said, don't worry about what you should eat, what you should wear. He said, aren't you better than the ravens or the fields? It's something like that. You're more valuable to God. So whatever you're going through, give it to God. Give it to God. He said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So rest in God. So I just want to just pray over. That's for everyone, and for your kids. I pray a prayer of protection over them. They're coming and going out, because kids got it hard. They got bullies in school. They got bullies online now. They got cyber bullies. They can't be kids any longer. They got boys in their bathrooms. And, they going through it. They got teachers that want to throw that transgender stuff and gay stuff down their throat. The children now got to do. Then they got to go home, and they got parents that don't want to grow up. They want to be their friend. They don't want to be a parent. They're not parenting. They about their own selves. But they need protection as well. So I just pray that you pray for your children and for their safety in Jesus' name. Pray for, that God will continue to order your footsteps. And one thing I'm going to end with this: trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not to thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. God will direct your path. Ask him for direction if you don't know what you should be doing. But one thing about this show is called Speak the Truth. Leave your comment, share, and subscribe. You can check out my DEI videos. We got all kinds, my Biden videos, all kinds of videos that we're posting. And I love sports. So my next one, I know y'all not into, but I'm into Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner. I love college football. And I'm going to get Travis. I got to dog him a little bit, because he got issues with this girl that's trying to take all his money. But he can't see it because he's so in love. But anyway, Travis Hunter is my favorite college football player. He's the Heisman winner, defensive player, two-way player. He's a generational talent. And right now they're trying to, they're coming for Shador. He's Deion Sanders' son. He's a quarterback for the former quarterback for Colorado. They're all entering the draft in the next couple of months. So they expect them both to go first round. They're going to probably be the top 5 picks. Anyway, that's my football talk, because I love sports too. But anyway, I just want to thank y'all for joining us. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if we will be on here tomorrow, But don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll get a notification. And I can't read all the comments. So like if someone wants to, like I do answer the comments. So if you have a question about, where our stand is, or, how you feel about the Democratic Party. Do you believe what they did at the joint session, was that a reflection of the party? Do you believe that the Democratic Party is not the same? It's not the same party of yesteryear. Do you believe that now the Republican Party seems more conservative? Do you support Trump? Are you against Trump? Do you believe what the media says about him? Or are you looking at his actual works? Like, what is he doing? These are the answers, the questions, whatever you can put in the comments. And, I'll respond to them when I read them. More and more people are starting to leave comments, and I like the engagement because, like with the stream, you can't answer everything. You can't see all of it. I would have to be I don't want to be all the way up there on the camera. So, because I'll be talking to y'all like this, and I don't want to do that. So, if you leave the comments, then I'll respond because I know a lot of people are saying things, and I'm not like I had some people say you just don't want to respond because we're talking about Trump. No, I can't read all the comments, but if you leave the comments, then I will respond to whatever you have to say. And one thing I want to get to was trying to grow the channel right now, but we're going to change all of this, but we're going to stay authentic and real. But I want to get to the point that we're bringing you guys on so that we can engage. I want you to engage and, have different opinions or have the same opinions or can enlighten all of us. So I do want to bring you guys on. So just hang in there with us. We're growing. We'll get better. But, it takes time, because this is new for us. We've only been doing this now a few months, and it's growing pretty fast, I believe. I think we got a lot of subscribers. I had, 1 million plus views on the video. I think like 1.5 million on my first video. It was like 15 seconds. It's in my playlist, and we've had over 5 million views and stuff like that. So we get a lot of views like with the videos and stuff. But like I said, we're growing so fast, I can't keep up with learning everything because we got to put a lot of stuff still together. But it's a lot to learn. But so much stuff be going on. I just go right on. I don't have a time. We just jump on. And that's why you have to hit the notification bell. But if you want to give a shout out to me or likes or whatever, you want to leave comments, I will respond. I'm not trying to ignore people that have a different opinion. But like I said, it's hard to do it on the stream without me being right all up on camera, which I don't want to talk all the way up there on you guys. And but I will respond to you. So anyway, have a good night. And love y'all. Even the ones that's mad and angry, love you. And stay safe. God bless you. And come back and join us again. Speak the Truth 2.0. We out. Thanks. God bless.